5D Mystery School.
Okay, 3:03. Good time to go live. Blessings, blessings, blessings. Thank you for joining. Thank you for being here. Blessings. Nina, thank you for being here. I'm glad you're excited. I'm glad you're here. Miss Gina, always showing up. Miss Gina, I'm grateful for you. Benny, blessings. It's kicking off. Can you feel it? Yes, the energy today is high. What's my sign? I am a Cancer Leo cusp. I'm a Cancer Leo cusp. That's my sun, depending on which astrology you're using. So yeah, got me a candle going. Got the elements here. Got me some incense burning. I hope everybody is having a beautiful start to the day. I hope everybody is having a good Sunday. And if you're not, I guarantee you by the end of this, you will leave with some high vibrations. First time catching it live. Well, today's a good day to start. Today's a great day to start. Blessings, blessings to everybody. Y'all know I got me some chlorophyll water. I got me some tea. Y'all know how we do it up in here. So today I'm going live with my favorite, Amani, the HoodHealer. Got some St. John's wort in my tea today. It's a blend called I Am Happy, sponsored by Astro5D. I know we gonna tap in on this very special Sunday. Oh yeah. Eating some mango. Okay, eating some mango. Okay, I see you. Happy Sunday. Can y'all see the sun outside? Ebony, welcome. Ebony always showing up. Yes, rich afternoon. You already know how we do it, Imani. Oh, this live is going to be serious. Oh, this live is going to be fun. You know, we got the moon in Scorpio squaring Mercury in Aquarius. So we're going to work with that energy and make it a beautiful experience for y'all today. Fresh cantaloupe juice. Oof, I got to try that. Hey, y'all, happy Sunday. Got my herbal tea, too. Y'all know how we do it. I hope y'all got y'all tea. I hope y'all got y'all tea. Experience. From the UK. Okay, from the UK. I love a Scorpio moon. Yes, Scorpio moons. The thing with Scorpio moons is that if they trust you, you good with them. But they can read you like better than most people. So you can't hide anything from a Scorpio moon. Blessings.
Peace, family.
Yes, yes. The queen has arrived. Now look, let me start this off by giving you your flowers. I had to. And you know, I like to write my thing, so I wrote something down for this.
Oh,
All right,
wow.
so yes.
Okay, hold on.
Okay,
let me get
so
situated.
okay.
Let me get situated so that I can receive this.
Yes, welcome, soul family. Yes, Virgos. Yes. So y'all know this is my twin because I am a Cancer Sun, Virgo Moon, and Scorpio Rising, and then Amani is a Cancer Rising, Scorpio Moon, and Virgo Sun.
Yes.
Yes. So there you go. That's why we have those similar thought patterns.
All right, I'm here. I'm ready.
All right, we are present. Okay, so let me preface this by saying that I met Imani on the beach. It was like Venice Beach at her soul gathering in 2020. Because I'm part of her soul collective. So it's like it's a difference when you get to meet somebody in person and actually see their energy, and their energy matches everything that they say online. So that for
That's
me
a big
was
compliment. Thank you.
yeah, of course. I was like, okay, this is the real deal. She's
And
the
you
real
know
deal. So
what? I meant to have my sandstone. You gifted me a sandstone on
yep,
that day. And I
yep,
still have it somewhere. Maybe Dennis will bring my crystals over here at some time. But
yes, yes. It was like mm, that experience was so rich. It was like easily over, probably like over 100 people, 150 people easily. And everybody was just on the same vibe. She had an open mic. We gave blessings to the water. Um, we did the singing bowls. That's like one of my top experiences. So let me,
a special day, yes.
yeah. Okay, so let me give you your flowers. I first heard about you in 2018 from somebody I used to know who's also a Virgo Scorpio moon, very beautiful person. And then again in 2020, during the height of the pandemic, I was working at Watkins in Harlem, this herb shop in Harlem on 125th Street. And this girl came in with this long list, was like, the hood healer told me I need to get these ingredients for a facial steam. And I was like, okay, there's that name again. And then it happened a couple more times. Like people came in with these lists for herbs from the hood healer. And I was like, okay, let me tap in. And so then I followed you on Twitter. And then from there, I saw that you was having your gathering. It's December. And then it was, the rest was history. So I followed your Twitter, and then I noticed the hood healer effect in the style of a lot of women that admired you. And I was like, I'm seeing a lot of hood healers around. And then even I saw that even the people that disliked you still found a way to keep up with you in every way. I was like, they don't like her. They say they don't like her, but yet they know what she's doing. And so then I saw that Amazon low key changed their algorithm for All About Love just because you recommended it. And so I was like, okay, this is like somebody serious here. This is like the hood healer effect. And so people that are too proud to admit it, they study you, and then your blueprint becomes their path.
Mm.
And so, yes, this what happens when your intent is genuine and the reciprocity with your community is real and authentic. She's a mother, she's a wife, an entrepreneur, a rising icon, so much more. So I can go on, but for the sake of time, I'm just going to say that you are appreciated, respected, and celebrated in spaces that you don't even know about. So blessings to you, Imani. That's your
Thank
flowers.
you. Thank
Yes. Yes.
you. Somebody put some
Yes.
onions in here. Thank you. I really
Yes.
appreciate that. I really appreciate that.
Of course. Definitely. So with me being the Virgo moon that I am, just a couple of things I want to throw out there for topics of people want to hear us talk about, food shortages, human
Mm.
design, personality type, love languages, included a new love language that is called distance. I'm a fan of that one. Uh, plant-based eater, and the quality of your water. And a little bit about the Super Bowl. I saw you talking about the Super Bowl uh, on Twitter, and I thought it's interesting that it's the Super Bowl 57 and a numerology that ends up being three. And then we were talking about the three with DeMar, what's his name? Hamlin, I think it is. And then it starts at 6:30. That's 369. I was like, damn, it's crazy. And then today is a 3 day, and
Mm-hmm.
then it's happening on the 33rd parallel. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
yo, this is not a coincidence at all. So you were right, like energy harvesting. Like I definitely feel like that's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so
Yeah.
what do you think about that?
I do think that it is elite energy harvesting. It's a way that the country harvests energy for the year. So these annual events that we have are like annual energy sources for the masses to manipulate. Also, in this time, the higher ups take this opportunity to implant things in the subconscious. So pay attention to, if you want to watch the Super Bowl, if you're still into that, pay attention to the advertisements, okay, the things that they are subtly planting in your subconscious. And I feel like one of the reasons why I don't watch the Super Bowl is there's a lot of MK Ultra.
Facts.
MK Ultra in a mind that is overstimulated or exhausted, malnourished, suffering from mineral deficiencies can cause a mind to go haywire.
Yeah.
And so I know a lot of us have been talking about the zombie apocalypse and how is this going to happen. And I feel like it's going to happen through some type of programming, maybe through our computer, through our phones. We all tune in with the phone every day. So, you know, it's nothing to flash something on the screen and have us out in the streets going crazy, self-eliminating.
Facts.
That's the new thing right now, is self-elimination, you know, kind of trying to throw us off from this very clear agenda to decrease the population through things. Yes. So also, you know, I just feel like if we're talking about empowerment and talking about uplifting our community, then we need to think about where we are directing our attention and the type of things that are supporting our community. And we spend a lot of money and energy and time in professional sports and thinking that that is going to be the key to transcendence. But, you know, I think Kobe Bryant was a great example of what happens when you try to transcend that realm.
Facts.
So I don't really like, you know, to be commemorating slavery. And I feel like that's what the Super Bowl, that's what NFL, that's what the NBA is really a commemoration to enslavement.
Even the whole selection process, like the way that they line them up, the way that they the NFL fittings, like all of that.
It's low vibrational, but it's also a small escape from an even lower vibration of a daily existence. So, you know, we can't fault the man for wanting some Sunday night football, you know?
Escapism.
And that's what they create. You know, they create the issue and the escape, you know?
Facts. They the ones that make you sick and then they give you the, you know, the jab or whatever. Like, that's facts. And it has everybody in a trance, like most people. And then this is, like you said on Twitter, this is the optimal time to speak to your subconscious mind. So those commercials, they aren't meant for, they're entertaining, but like you said, they are training your subconscious mind with symbols, with signs, the frequency.
Colors.
I think that's big.
Yes.
Colors. Yes. So speaking about MK Ultra, what do you think is happening right now with, I don't want to get kicked off early, so I can say, what do you think is happening right now with the jab and heart attacks and strokes? Because I remember you were the first to say, you know, that this jab was causing people to have menstrual problems, and then you were like crucified online. Then it turned out to be more than true. So what do you think is happening right now, and what do you envision? What are your prophetic visions that you see happening over the next couple of years? And before you say that, guys, thank you for the badges. The badges will be split between both of us today.
No.
No, of course I'm going to send you.
You collect your badge money today.
Okay.
I appreciate that though. I'm not going to say too much about the jab here, because what I feel like now is the damage is done. And what's happening now is people are rapidly declining, not just because of the exposure of these foreign materials, but they are rapidly declining because of the exposure to the toxic materials and the frequency of fear and anxiety. Okay, now we have people walking around every single day, okay, hearing new information about how this is toxic, how this is killing them, how this didn't do anything, okay? That's causing people to go into a mental psychosis, which manifests in the body, okay? And so now we're seeing all of these, not just heart attacks, we're just seeing all of these ailments just take people out quick. And so that, I feel like it was the intention, was the fear aspect and the toxicity.
A word.
Working together to self-eliminate.
Hello.
So what I think is happening now is people are eliminating. And they're falling off. And, you know, the pharmaceutical industry is a cartel. and that runs our government. You know, the pharmaceutical industry is the shadow government that runs our government. You know?
Talk to him. Hello, FDA.
So, you know, that is why we're seeing a decrease in food production and those things. Or it feels like these issues are political, but it really is centered around health, the pharmaceutical industry. I lost my thought. Where was I going with that?
Bars. Somebody said bars. Of course. Always. The pharmaceutical industry is the mafia.
So what's happening, what's happening now is folks are declining. We know what it is. We're not going to say what it is. And now we're going to throw the people who know what it is into a psychosis. Because now you've got to go everywhere to prove your point that you know is right. So we're seeing people who are free thinkers and able to dissect the matrix, having nervous breakdowns.
Oof, talk to him.
Yes, because, you know, it's challenging to be constantly told that you're crazy, to be constantly told that you're wrong, to know that you're right, and then get on an app, and the algorithm tell you that you're wrong. There's actual fact checkers that tell you that you're wrong. You know, I definitely had a moment when I was looking at people's actual experiences. I posted about how the jab was impacting people's menstrual, and thousands of women commented about their actual experience. And that was fact checked, that was flagged. And so that type of energy continuing to happen, in addition to people infiltrating you, making fake pages, making fake tweets, all of that type of shit make you go crazy.
Yo, I'm often asked, like, how do I balance it? How do I keep my sanity? And I just say like you have to learn how to use social media moderation, not let it use you. And I'm sure you've been doing it for a while, so I know you mastered that. So it's like once, even the negative comments, because you have to realize that the psyche of somebody who even would have the time to leave a negative comment, what they could be going through. So it's like that whole thing. So it's like learning how to like mute out the hate, but also learning how to discern the real love, like the genuine, authentic love.
Yes.
Um,
And
versus
that's
people just trying
challenging
to, yeah.
because the algorithm is designed to keep that frequency low.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard to see the compliments when Instagram is pushing out the negative feedback and the troll comments. So that's why I say it's in, and that's why I am focusing on getting off the internet and creating real experiences. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Creating real experiences and having real experiences in the realms.
Yes. I think people are due for another soul gathering for real. I
I
mean,
think so
that's
too. People just gotta stop
yeah.
acting weird, you know?
Yeah, that's healing. And I think I often feel like sometimes people are put in spaces because their energy is healing, and like that space needs their energy.
Yes.
And it's
Oh, I agree. That's why I was talking about sex work the other day. My whole opinion on sex work has changed. So I feel like yes, some folks really have the soul calling to heal and transmute through sex and sexual energy, tantric energy. It feels
facts.
taboo. It feels taboo, but it's really a soul calling.
And with that, just in my opinion, I feel is like that soul is probably because right now, like in 5D Mystery School, our homework is like Journey of Souls, right? So we're reading the case studies of Dr. Michael Newton, who's done like thousands and thousands of past life regressions. And like all of his patients are saying the same thing. They're describing the astral realms, the afterlife being the same place. And so they're saying like how souls have different levels, and like they're kind of separated by like the colors that they radiate. And like the aura colors, with like the highest being like purple and blue, and the lowest being like white and yellow and stuff. So I'm thinking that if somebody does have a soul calling to be a sex worker, maybe they're on like the new levels, like maybe they're like a newer soul, because somebody who's, I guess, like somebody who's probably on their last incarnations wouldn't be tapped into that energy, maybe. At least that's like what I'm thinking, you know?
I can see that.
Yeah, because I feel somebody who's probably on their last incarnations here on Earth, because this place is ratchet to say the least.
Very.
So somebody who's on their last incarnations would be doing something, you know, like in the field that you're doing, or like that we're doing. It's being a healer, you know, like how you're just a healer in so many ways, like using.
Well, I don't think so. I don't think necessarily, because I don't think necessarily. There could be some high level sex workers that are transmuting the energy and breaking down timelines just through the aura.
Let me marinate with that.
I'm trying to work on that.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, I guess, yeah, because sex work has a connotation of, you just think about what you see in the movies, you know, like sex work could mean somebody who's doing it once a month or once a year, like and they could be doing it for different reasons. Like
sex work could just be me dancing for someone. Sex work could be me laying crystals on their sex organs.
Got you. Like root chakra
like
healing.
root. Yeah.
Mm.
So I do
Yeah, that's a
think
whole
that
nother. Yeah.
there is high levels of that. We just don't see that work being done in the light enough. We don't associate it with light work.
Oh, somebody said get into it. Yes.
We don't
Yeah, I mean,
associate it with light work because of the parallels, you know, and the intricacies of it all. But it is light work. That's why I tell the girls, step your pussy package up. You know, uplift.
Yeah.
Okay, boom. Step your pussy package up has nothing to do with sex.
Talk to
It's about uplifting your feminine energy and standing in it. Men could step their pussy package up.
I mean, it's that moderation, yeah, that balance of divine
Well,
feminine
it is
and
in
masculine.
moderation, but why do we associate that with weakness?
Ooh,
There's
talk to
nothing
him.
weak about that.
No, not at all. No, it's the opposite, the contrary. That it's the
Why is that
matrix.
emasculating when that's the point of power? That's the entry point of life.
It is. It's literally the matrix in the Bible. You know, that's the only way to come through, at least for this human body. That's the only way to come through this reality. You know.
Shifting perspectives. I'm shifting my perspective.
Yes.
Yeah.
Always. I'm always. I feel like as long as you're breathing, you're learning. You know what I mean? And so I'm always open to learn from, like, it can be a 13-month-old, you know, it can be a dog, it can be a cat. Like I'm always open to learning. And I feel like when you're doing that, you're constantly becoming better if you're not closing yourself off to, you know. So yeah, thank you for helping me shift that. But speaking about pussy package, I feel as though right now it's being weaponized in a way, because we have this hypersexual period that we're in, where what I mean by that is, like, you can turn on the TV, you can see like Taylor Swift and like a turtleneck doing like a guitar soft warm music video, and then you turn to Nicki Minaj or somebody like that, and then it's just like pussy in your face. And so I see the effects it's having in the community, where I don't know if love is authentic like it used to be, because you got people constantly trying to be a bad bitch, and then you got the scammers trying to keep up with the bad bitches, so they trying to get the money any way that they can. And so it's like, when are we going to get back to like that, the black man, black woman, you know, strong family in a household?
When we can tell the truth. When we can tell the truth about the fact that we haven't been in love, we've been in survival. When we can be honest about our post-traumatic slave syndrome and really dissect the way that it has inhibited our collective ability to receive and give love. We have to acknowledge how we have allowed the white man in our head to infiltrate our traditions, rituals, family, morale, structures, etc. I think that, you know, living in this realm is really hard, okay? And when we ascend here, very few of us are given soul direction.
Ooh.
Okay?
Talk to him.
We don't get soul direction, so you only learn how to survive on this plane as a mortal. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So
you're not using your
So what we see is human design. I want to talk about that too. What we see, because like human design, yeah, we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
I feel like we're going deep, we're going left with the human design shit a little bit. We're gonna talk about it. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I think that humans can't excel on this plane without connection to spirit. And so that's, you know, we're going to continue to see what we're seeing, which is units founded without spirit. You know, children cultivated in survival mode.
Oh.
So I have a mom and a dad who don't really love each other, don't really like each other, but they stick it out because they know how to get along with each other and they need each other to survive. See, that's a key thing. Is a lot of us don't know how to survive and thrive independently. That's why I think that a lot of women got offended when I was talking about the soft girl era. Like, what is that really? Like, what is this that we're really talking about? Because the self-sufficiency hasn't really been achieved. We keep celebrating this higher octave of survival mode. So, you know, I have a mom who's a survivor. I have a dad who's a survivor. All I know is to survive. When I don't know to look for love. I'm looking for attributes. I'm looking for someone who's a hustler. I'm looking for someone who could protect me in the streets. I'm looking for someone who looks good. I'm looking for all of the things that I think make survival easy on this plane. And so what we're seeing is folks can survive on this plane if they look good. Folks can survive on this plane if they're spending money.
Talk to them.
We don't see folks surviving on this plane or thriving on this plane enough in connection to spirit.
That's why you got a lot of souls still here, because they're flunking Earth School, so they have to come back and reincarnate and do this thing all over again.
And the saddest thing is a lot of the chosen children, the chosen ones, are flunking Earth School. And that's why, you know, shit's about to go get strange in 2023. because we're going to get interference from the other realms in 2023. Okay, so wake up the collective, because folks forgot where they came from. A lot of folks here think that they're mere mortals, you know? So this year, I do think that we're going to see some very strange things, some periods of darkness, some things ascending from the waters, from the skies we've never seen, some frequencies, some colors that we've never seen, things that cannot be explained. And this is to awaken the consciousness so that you can remember who the hell you are.
Y'all better take notes. For real. Because her batting average is high. So y'all better take notes. For real.
You know, we got to start telling the truth. And the truth is, this relationship shit is hard. The truth is I was not raised with the skills. My mother's mother wasn't raised with the skills. My mother's mother wasn't raised with the skills. So let's stop fucking pretending.
So
I don't get up here and act like I'm a relationship guru. I'm very, very transparent. It was a time in 2020 when I damn near lived in a hotel because I could not communicate with my partner. People don't have the courage and the heart to speak on that. If we had more folks really transparent about all that it takes to really be committed into a relationship, how you have to choose your partner every single day, sometimes every single hour, every single minute. There's a temptation. We don't talk about that enough. We talk about how things are great, and we do the TikToks, and we do the vacations, and we show people what they want to see, and then we crumble on the inside, and we're distorted and fragmented and having irreconcilable differences and cheating and scheming on the inside, and nobody fucking knows. So if people are honest, willing to be honest about the fact that, yeah, shit, 10 years ago I was crippin'. So yeah, it's going to be some formation and some relearning that's going to happen. 10 years ago, my husband was in the street thotting. Yes, it's going to be some, and this is the truth of it all. Folks just don't want to tell the truth. The truth is we're growing, we're learning, we're fighting for each other every single day. It's a fight. So that, I think, until folks are willing to be honest about that, until maybe a Beyonce and a Jay-Z can come out and say, you know what, actually we live in separate homes. Actually, this is just for entertainment. Actually, we thought we were uplifting the collective by upholding this lie.
You got to choose each other every day.
See, I think that we think we're upholding, because I thought that too. I'm like, at the one point, I'm like, oh, this ain't gonna work. Finna break up. And I think that a lot of us uphold this lie because we think that it's upholding the collective. We think it's upholding our family image, our family morale. Well, if the family stays together, then other people will stay together. Then other people will be motivated to stay together. Then the family unit strengthens. But does it really strengthen if it is fragmented from the inside? No.
You know, sometimes people confuse a soulmate with a twin flame, or they think that they, come on, hello. So you got to sometimes
with a karmic partner and a karmic lesson. Or confuse a soulmate with a mirror.
That soulmate get you ready for your twin flame, because if you can't pass the levels that your soulmate is putting you through, those obstacles, then you're not ready for your twin flame. So you're going to keep meeting these karmic soulmates until you're prepared to meet yourself and another person. And
how many folks every day, I just listen to folks curse themselves, you know. I don't want. I'm just focusing on my bag. I want a rich ass scamming ass nigga.
Yeah.
You know, we curse ourselves subconsciously, and then we try and figure out why the hell it ain't working.
Come on. I mean, because sometimes people like you said, they want to keep up that image. They're not getting into, like, relationships they're hard. You know, for me personally, I do want separate rooms. You know, like, I do think that would help to keep the relationship stronger, you know.
That's so important. I'm glad that you said that. I feel like a man in a home. In a home, see, this is, now we get into it. Yeah, because marriage is a real commitment, because the home that houses the marriage is very important. In the home, you got to have space. I feel like the house that you're in your marriage represents your marriage. There's no space in the home, might not be any space in the relationship.
Ooh.
Sometimes you need to have a separate bed.
Yeah, I feel like nowadays that might be a must. It's just the excitement of missing each other. Sometimes you need space to miss each other. You know, not suffocating each other, not being codependent on each other, still having a sense of being like your own person, being independent, you know, like having your own identity, not like, oh, you're what's and so's husband, or you're so and so's wife. It's like, call me by my
Right.
name. Like, that's who I am, having, you know, so.
Which a lot of folks reduce themselves to because of lack of soul direction.
Mm.
So because of lack of soul direction, we have a lot of women out here who think that it's their sole purpose to be a wife and to be a mother. And then when they have the child, they're suffering from postpartum depression, that frequency, and they can't get out of that psychosis. And now they're blaming this energy on the baby when it's really, boo, the lack of soul direction.
Mm.
That's why I say I don't necessarily believe in postpartum depression. I'm not giving all that the weight to that, because that don't really be what it is. We're incarnated to have children, but we're not incarnated just to be mothers. Come on.
Hello. Talk to him. Even the way that we're bringing in babies is, it needs to be restructured, because you're bringing in a baby into this environment with beeping noises, like these mechanical type of sounds.
Yeah.
You got somebody in the next wing who just died from an overdose or something. It's like you bringing a baby into that environment versus, you know, bringing a baby in at home, having a natal chart reading ready, having a doula, having somebody singing their welcoming song or whatever, just whatever you want your welcoming party to be. Because why don't we have birthday parties for the actual birthday? You know, it's like we need to make it more welcoming, more warming. And then maybe that baby's, maybe their upbringing will be different because they had that vibration, vibratory welcoming, because it's all sound healing when you're coming in. You know, there's something
I
to think about.
Babies that are born in the hospital are very susceptible to demon possession. And so you may think that this is just infancy, you know, the behaviors of infancy, the crying through the night, the inability to sleep through the night, etc. When the baby is possessed. You just birth this pure portal, pure essence energy, and brought this pure essence energy to the graveyard.
Why is their first experience crying? Is that natural? You know, like, I'm thinking about that. No. Come on.
No.
Yeah. So,
that's not natural.
Right.
When I had Ocean at home, I did a home birth at my home. And when she was delivered, Dennis was like, what the hell? Is she okay? Because it was just so much peace. But I know parents do this all the time. I compare my child all the time. Ocean just doesn't have that disposition. And I feel like it has a lot to do with the energy that I was in when we were sharing vessels. And I feel like it has a lot to do with the energy that she was brought forth in. Yeah, I think the hospital is like the worst place for us to be.
Right. Nowadays, you don't know what they're sticking, what kind of shots they're giving. It's like, it's best just, and especially being melanated, they don't have our best interest. So it's not, I would not bring my child up there either, you know.
And the folks that work in the medical industry are possessed.
Oof. Come on.
Sociopaths, a lot of them.
And I mean, having your child in that care coming in, no.
Desensitized, sociopath.
And then you bring that energy home with you, and you wondering why you and your spouse are arguing.
Yeah, you bring in and you bring the fear. And then not to mention, you know, how the hospital emasculates the Black man. Don't let you be a Black father at your wife's bedside. They don't know how to handle that.
That's a scary image.
On the topic, though, I will say that all kinfolk is not skinfolk, especially all skinfolk and kinfolk, especially in the medical arena. I almost lost my child Ocean almost did not make it to us. I was so committed to having a Black midwife.
Mm.
And my Black midwife was not operating in integrity, which unfortunately tends to happen a lot of times in this realm because, you know, there's a kink and a click in our minds that happens in society. You know, and some people have very good intentions. They say they want to be a doctor so that they can help the community and things. They have very good intentions at first, you know, but
they get bought off by Big Pharma when they about to graduate, and so
they get, or you know, they're scared for their life.
Facts, yes. And now, I mean, what's going on now? It's like a lot of them, you have to choose fear or love because a lot of them are knowledgeable of what's happening to people, and you have to continue to turn a blind eye, or you have to be an advocate for the truth.
That's possession. You just rolling with the devil.
Mm-hmm. Come on, die suddenly and you don't say a word.
Like, that entity's on you. And folks say they go to the hospital, come out sicker. That entity is on you.
So shifting to like the home front again, you know, because I want to, you know, kind of steer this back into human design in a second. But what do you feel like synastry and love languages? Like, do you feel like is that a way to bring us closer together? To bring like the love back into the home, like knowing what your love language is, like knowing what your person's like natal chart is, so that way you can see if you guys are even aligned with each other. Because maybe
yes, and I feel like no. You know, I feel like there's a human. I think that we're taking on we are not recognizing the toxic consumption. Because, for example, you know, I got to think about why I got into astrology. I got into astrology to have better control of my life and better control of my environment. When we look at a partner's astrology, it's not really in an effort to connect, it's in an effort to protect. Let me look at your astrology and see if this is even worth my month's time.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Let me see what your money lines is looking like.
That's real.
I think that
you got Chiron in the second house.
Human design, and we get into the astrology. We're taking out the divinity because a lot of times we look at that like it's set in stone.
I mean, when at the base of it, is it really, you know, especially human design, is it really just somebody else's advanced ideology that we taking on? You know, because
somebody else's advanced ideology, because I've tested it. There's been times I'll go on live and I'll tell a reading for Aquarius, and it will be something I downloaded for Scorpio, and they'll just be, oh my God, the Aquarius reading. I haven't really got to the bottom of it, but my thing is, what is this study that we're studying? Because these planets that we think are not the planets that they are.
Come on. Oh, we about to get into
so where
this.
Are we
okay.
really harnessing this energy from?
Yep.
Who is a Virgo? Where did they come up with that?
And why is it different in India?
Is that really a star? Is that a star planet from Mercury that I descended from?
Oh.
Or is it that I was just born in the month of August, September? Yeah, I don't know. I think it's a little bit deeper. I think that maybe that's where I ascended from the Mercury star.
Oof. Yeah.
I also feel like you could take parts of your consciousness. You know, it's very advanced in the realms. You know, so I could have part of the Mercury. I could have Mercury. Okay, so I descended down to Earth. I could
Mm-hmm.
have got some consciousness from my Mercury star.
Mm-hmm.
I could have got some consciousness from my Scorpio star. I could have got
Mm-hmm.
consciousness from these stars from living there in different lives and lifetimes, and then brought all of that knowledge down here.
Mm.
So
Oof.
what if I'm a combination of stars and galaxies and systems and information forms and lights and all of the things.
Yes. I mean, because really, if you take a blank CD and you put it in a computer, you burn data on that CD, and then you take it out and you put it in another computer, you burn data on that CD. You keep doing that. That's like us living these different lives. So it's like we
Boom.
have this data from these incarnations. This can be like our 30th thousand incarnation that we're oblivious to, because part of this game is coming into this matrix with amnesia, too. But you have those lessons. We were talking about this the other day. You have these lessons, right? It's from the ages of 1 through 7 when the child's brain is in theta.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when most child trauma happens. And from the rest of your life beyond that age, you're just walking around with this unhealed childhood trauma.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to have experiences in your life to help you get through that trauma, because that trauma is helping you. Really, it's the key to help you evolve. And it's just left over from previous lives, right?
Yes. Boom. The trauma is just the key to help you evolve.
Mm,
Yes.
mm.
Yes. So again, that's where we just gotta stop walking around, woe is me. It's not our fault, the circumstances, but it is our responsibility to transmute the trauma.
Mm. Yes, because that trauma is gonna open the door for you to reach a new level, because you can't get to the new level at the same thinking. That's if you can't pass a certain obstacle, right? That's why sometimes I see people say like, man, I keep seeing the same person or the same situation in different people. I'm like, yeah, that is the test. That is exactly what's happening, because you have to realize the test for what it is. Just like when you were in school, if you don't pass that test, your ass ain't going to the next grade.
Right.
So if you don't pass the test, that keep on coming to you, and sometimes you can get so far off track. Like you say, when mistakes happen, that's when you're out of alignment. So sometimes you can have these mistakes that happen in your life that's pushing you to be back into alignment, to
Yeah.
face the trauma, to grow.
Some people can't deal with that type of accountability though.
Mm.
They think that it's problems. They think I'm having problems, but it's really you're just having accountability.
Mm. The accountability.
Yeah,
A lot of people can't face that.
A lot of folks can't face that, and until you get into the accountability, baby, a lot of things are not going to ascend.
Mm.
Yeah, accountability is the key to ascension.
Accountability is the key to ascension. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you can't face yourself, because a lot of times these tests that you're going through are just pushing you to face yourself, which is the soul,
Instagram is a test of that.
Mm.
Folks can't face themselves. Who gives a shit about these people? We
Wow.
have this portal.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting. It really is a test. I feel like they're learning so much about humanity.
Mm.
It's like, here is a place where you can put yourself on a fucking pedestal.
Mm.
And a lot of people don't.
Mm.
Here's a place where you can celebrate. Now, they harvest energy all the time off of us. Why don't you use that for yourself?
Mm. Because think about it.
I made a nice living for myself off of social media.
Mm.
Big up in myself.
Facts.
Doing me.
Your energy is the credit, really.
Yeah.
And a lot of times the people on social media, and I think that's now more than ever, people are honoring genuine like authenticity, because if you go online and you try to become a character and you got to keep up that character, it's not going to work. But if people can tap in with you and see like, oh, wait a minute, like this is who they are, like they're not changing, like this is genuine, then I think that that is what's lasting, and people are craving that, especially with you know, just with the transition and the paradigm shift in the way that people are thinking. People want honesty. People are tired. That's why the celebrity, the idea of the celebrity, I don't want to say it's dying, but in a way it is. Like people want, that's why influencers are in a way kind of taking the spotlight like they are, because you're seeing somebody's genuine life, like Keith Lee. In a way,
well, a lot
you
of
were,
influencers are fucking it up too.
in what way?
Well, I feel like influencers are fucking it up by not maintaining integrity. For example, that's why I'm like I get real
choosy.
Huh?
I was gonna say choosy with who you share with your community.
Well, yes, and that's again why I get very upset with folks when they're not operating in integrity within the community, because I am when I recommend something, it's because I really love it, or I really honor it, or I really respect it. I don't recommend things for sales. I don't recommend things to remain relevant. I don't recommend things or I don't speak about things to maintain my blue check.
Oof.
So a lot of folks on here really have no, it's like you're not an influencer if somebody could buy you.
Oh, louder for the people in the back. Come on.
Like
a lot of people are
being influenced if somebody else is influencing your decision with money. So I'm like, where's the real tea? Like who's who?
Yeah.
But we're in a shift right now between 3D and 5D, okay? And on Instagram, we see more of the 3D than the 5D, you know what I'm saying? So on here, you know, that's who's winning.
Yeah. Facts. And I mean, honestly, from my own personal experience too, I'm shadow banned. So most people that follow me, I'm like, how did you find me, first of all? And I've been doing this for 6 years. So it's like I was maintaining through like 0 views, 10 views, 15 views, because this was like, I kept coming back to it because this is essentially part of my very mission why I'm here. Anybody else who was doing this for the likes would have gave up at 0 views, seeing 0 views for like a year or two. Right. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you have to know where your lane is, stick to where your lane is, and stick with the integrity, not buying views and all that stuff that people can do now. Actually know, like, this is what I'm supposed to do. And if doors aren't opening here, then I need to go ahead and pick another lane.
Yeah, that's another
because
thing is people can buy views for you. I mean, can buy followers for you. That's something that happens to me as well. Is what they'll do is they'll buy followers for you to fuck up your algorithm. Once you bought followers, you lost your engagement. Basically, Instagram puts you on a timeout. So that's a new malicious thing that folks are doing, is they're buying followers for other people.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah. You might think that you're just naturally growing, but somebody's buying you followers, and it's actually pushing you into shadow ban and putting you at risk of losing your page. And you wouldn't even know. Damn.
Yeah. If somebody is buying me followers, first of all, I just want to say thank you.
Well, it's not. They're not real followers.
Yeah.
They're just bots.
But that's the thing. Like for me, with me being a Virgo moon, it's like I kind of look through my followers and and it's like the engagement too. You can tell with the engagement. If somebody has like 1 million followers, but yet they're only getting like 20 views, you're like, come on, bruh. Like we all see it as a public platform. You know what I'm saying? But so it's like, if you're doing that, then it's a disservice to yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're losing out on that real engagement. You're sticking into a lane that's not really for you.
Yeah. Buying followers, it's not doing nothing for you. It's not doing nothing to build your brand. It's not doing nothing to it's not doing anything, but actually.
Oh, y'all, that was too hot. Y'all know how they do it. Instagram had to throw some water on it. Don't worry, I'm gonna post that live. That was beautiful. Y'all know how they do it. Y'all know how Instagram like to play. So go ahead, join in, fill in, get your tea, get your water. Yes, y'all know how they do it. You already know how Instagram play. Y'all cracking codes. For real. Sheesh, too hot. Come on. Come on. Y'all already knew what it was going to be when y'all seen that me and Imani was going live. I'm surprised it took this long to happen. Yes, they won't let us be great. Wish you were in Cali. Yeah, actually, I moved from Cali in 2020. I was just in Cali, and my lease is up here pretty soon. I don't know where I'm gonna move after I leave here in Detroit. It's up in the air. I could be back in Cali. Who knows? Yes, Instagram kicked us off. Welcome back, people. Welcome back. Let's wait for money to come back into the room. The codes are being cracked. Oh, here we go. Yes, this is an enlightened conversation. You already know how to go do it. Come on. Come on. But yeah, one thing I wanted to ask you, I don't know if you've ever done this, or even what your thoughts are about this, but do you know what your personality type is?
No.
Mm,
No.
I would like to know that.
No.
I would guess it's like an introverted something.
Introverted, extrovert, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, because you have like, it's one of those things that like Carl Jung came up with like 16 different personality types based on these tests with different people. So you have like INTJ, INFJ, like all these different personality types. It helps you, I guess, to learn more about your psyche. Somebody said INTJ, and I'm an INFJ. Oh, we got another INFJ. But yeah, you should, if that's something you're into, check out Myers-Briggs personality.
Myers-Briggs.
Yeah, Myers-Briggs personality test. I'll send you the link so you can tap in. It takes like 5 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah. So going back to what were we talking about before? Going back to, let's switch it up. What do you think about quality of water? Then we got a lot of INFJs up in here. We're the rares too. What do you think about the quality of water? The water that's being sold to us right now. It's like these plastic containers. Here in Detroit, we're on a boil water notice.
Water quality. There is no water quality.
No integrity.
No. No integrity. I like to have the shungite. You know, I put the shungite in my water that's already filtered. But
that's important.
No, we're not. No. we're there's all type of shit coming through the drains. We're drinking crazy water. The fruit water is crazy. The vegetable water is crazy. It's just, yeah. But I think that our bodies upgrade in technology to be able to handle some of the interferences. Some bodies are upgrade, and I think that a lot of people are upgrading right now.
And so, like, you mean like personally, like our brains, our DNA,
like physically, the body upgrades. Like we don't need, a lot of people are eating less right now. That's because we're being prepared. You're
Mm.
being prepared for a time where you're not going to be able to have it your way. Okay. Okay. So,
Mm.
yeah, you know, right now, if you're in tune, you're probably eating less. If you're in tune, you're probably drinking less. If you're in tune, you're probably eating less. You know, you might have fallen off from your vitamins and shit and found out like, yeah, I'm still like moving. Like, wow, I'm
Mm.
still rocking. I'm still rolling. Yeah, because there's a cellular shift happening.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Come on. Yes, I find that I'm actually, you're right, eating less, like needing less, worrying less. And I saw this video on TikTok where I think this is kind of relevant, where this girl was like, she's working less, but somehow her bills are still being paid. And I'm like, yo, I see that happening in my life too. It's like you don't even worry about like how is my rent being paid. Somehow things are just, yo, every single month.
I put my
Every
bills on automatic payment in 2019. I haven't looked back.
mm,
I don't even
come
look
on.
at my bank account, honestly. I don't look at my bank account. I don't look at how much money I'm spending. I don't look at how much money is coming in. I don't even worry about that anymore.
Mm,
And I
you
can't,
take it.
and it sounds mean, but I can't be in the frequency of people who are still talking about money and stuff on that level. Like, it's
Yes.
really an energetic frequency. When you hack
Mm,
that, baby, the quality of life just supersedes. And then you start thinking about what's
mm,
life really like. Okay, I've achieved the American dream. It was cool. There was a lot of emotional voids.
mm,
You know, there's a lot of lack of fulfillment, but on paper, I did achieve the American dream. Now, what's next?
mm,
I think that a lot of folks that like look at this shit like a game, because you know, at one point you ascend and you start to look at this money making shit like a game. You start to look at these politics like a game. You start to really start to play chess.
mm,
And then you
mm,
start to see how powerful your energy is and how you can really move shit around. And what I have always amazed by is how many people's radar I'm on. It's like, you know,
mm,
I am very shadow banned. I do on here says I have 500K followers,
mm,
but I'm always surprised by the rooms and the spaces and the mouths that my name is in.
mm-hmm.
You know? And I am doing it real unorthodox.
When it's
So
your
I
calling, they gonna be talking. Come on.
come on, hello. So I think that we gotta learn. That's what I'm trying to really teach folks. That's what I'm really focusing
Mhm.
on OnlyFans this year. Is really trying to teach folks how to beat this money game, because it really is a game. And when you learn that it's energy, so I talk about this month. I'm talking about the financial reports. So I feel like, you know, if you get your shit together in February, you have your shit together for the year.
Nothing's in retrograde.
Nothing's in retrograde, but also, you know, the Aquarius is an innovator, you know, and Aquarius, we think of our ideas, you know, okay, so in January, we're resting, we're in hibernation. In February, we're slowly waking up. We're thinking about ideas, we're innovating. That's when we start getting into our plans for the year. This is a good time to vision board. This is when you start handling your business, paying off things, handling things so that you can posture yourself for a successful year in the following year. Okay, so March is coming. Now it's time. So in Aquarius season, we're focusing on the mind. Then in Pisces season, we're focusing on the body. So now we're bringing our body out of hibernation and we're moving our bodies. Okay, so we're focusing on movement now. And then we're focusing on diet now. Okay, and we're moving along with the energies. Mind you, I said this month, in March, I'm not focusing on money. In February, I am. This is my time to be innovative. You also got to learn how to extract the energies from each sign point to get where you want to go throughout the year. Okay, so in Aquarius season, I'm getting into my innovation. Okay, well, I can't move if the body is detached. So now moving into Pisces season, okay. I gotta connect the two. Okay, now we get into Aries season. Now we're back up in the air. Okay, so in Aries season, I'm ready to put this shit out into the air. Okay, put it out into the air. Okay, April, May, Taurus season. Venus is back in this bitch. So now it's time to put some money. Now it's time to put some money where my mouth is. Okay, now my fucking flowers are growing. Now the sun is just shining on my shit. Now it's harvest time. It's harvest time. What? Harvest time is in Cancer. Cancer is my rising. It's harvest time. Cancer, I'm beaming. Okay, what am I doing in Cancer season? What most people do around their birthday is turn up. No, I'm replanting seeds. I'm replanting seeds. Now, when I get to Virgo, my harvest, now my garden is runneth over. Ooh. Now I got shit for my friends. Now I could put some people on in Libra season, equaling the field, okay? Leveling shit out, justice, you are all due just. People should know who you are. So in Libra season, go back and look. Libra season, I'm sharing profiles. I'm sharing accounts. Now, what's that happening? What's happening? I'm grouping you into my momentum. Now you're grouped into my momentum, okay? Now we're rolling. Now we're rolling into Scorpio season, okay? Now Scorpio season, things get interesting. Because in now Scorpio season, people want to start looking to shit into a deeper level. Scorpio season is also an introspective season where spirit is saying, is your program working? Do we need to make some adjustments? Do we need to make some adjustments? Yes. Okay, now let's get into this mutable energy, Sagittarius season. Let's make them adjustments, okay? Before Capricorn, and then boom, we start over. Ooh. But if you start working your money like that, you're going to start seeing your money cycling. And you're going to see the velocity. You're going to start seeing things build up. But it's energy. You got to think of it as energy terms. You can't think about it, oh, God, I got $50. Can't think about it like that. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Like you got to be happy when you paying bills because you know that money is going to come right back to you. It's the energy that you put in with the flow.
Why wouldn't I be happy to pay my bills?
Come on.
Why? I'm happy to take care of myself. I want to live in luxury. I want to live in comfort. I'm paying for luxury and I'm paying for comfort.
Ching, ching, ching goes the money tree.
You this and that. Baby, 5-star energy is not complaining about the valet.
Nope.
Stop doing that shit, y'all. Y'all get invited to some 5-star shit. Oh, God, the valet. Oh, God, what? You just be blocking yourself from embracing the energies. Another thing that my people do is they exclude themselves. They say, oh, this is something white people do.
That's a whole word.
This is something white people do. It's been a real struggle bringing Black folks into the top floor. Because the way that we repel luxury is astonishing.
They're conditioned to have a lobby mindset so they can't get to that top floor. They don't even think they belong in the elevator.
The way that we repel real luxury is astonishing, especially the way that we covet materials. Real luxury is like having a chef. I feel like real luxury is having your bills on automatic pay.
Auto pay. You got to.
I feel like real luxury is this.
Having the time. Time is wealth. Time is wealth.
How to allocate that though.
It's like, what are you doing with your time? Are you working for somebody else 8 hours a day, or do you have the time to live?
Some folks may be spending 4 hours of the day cleaning their house. for a boss, that's not a great distribution of energy.
Mm.
In 4 hours, I can make $4,000.
Come on.
And pay the housekeeper $250 to deep clean. What makes more sense?
We have so many apps now that do you really need to go clock in for somebody else, or can you just pull up Uber for a couple hours?
You know, some people do because they don't have the discipline. Not everybody has the discipline to live this life. Not everybody was incarnated to live this life.
Facts.
Some folks are fillers. Some folks are here to work the matrix, to uphold the propagandas, to uphold the systems for us to break through. Not everybody is a boss. It requires discipline. It requires dedication, courage, creativity, sacrifice. Did I say discipline?
Number one.
Okay, it's people out here every day. They don't know what they're going to do. They think that the world stops if they lose their job. I don't know how I'm going to do it without money. Okay, money is the lowest exchange of frequency, of energy. I don't advise people to do this, but I think that me being on Skid Row homeless, saved my life. Because from there, I could recognize the currency of energy. That was the best. That's where I found the money pot at, on Skid Row.
Come on.
I found the money pot on Skid Row. The money pot, you know, the pot at the end of the rainbow. Yeah, that was right there at the Wine Garden on San Pedro and 8th Street, where I found that my energy is the real currency. I don't have $1 to give, not a nair motherfucker around here. But I'm throwing my weight and they fucking with me because of the energy. Even with no money, you would still be wealthy. Even with no money, I was eating every day. With no money, I was still that girl on Skid Row. Yeah. Come on. Because they recognize the energy. And that energy protected me because those folks realized that I wasn't supposed to be there and they protected me. I mean, a rose got to go through the dirt before you really see their beauty. So, you know, that was your test, part of your mission. You know, that's the adversity you had to go through because you wouldn't appreciate the highs if you didn't see like the deepest of the lows. And you have to also recognize that this is a false security. Because my father, I was adopted at birth. My father was a correctional officer. Both of them college educated. He actually had his PhD. On paper, all of the things. Achieved the American dream. Well, he didn't have his paperwork together. And so I was out here. And so I saw how things can shift so very quickly when you're depending on money to open doors. And so I had to learn, fuck. My mama's not here. My daddy's not here. I don't have this money to fall back on. I don't have nothing to fall back on but my energy. I better invest in this. Your energy can get you in spaces that money can't even afford. For real. That's a fact. Because, most of the time what I'm seeing is, and the one thing I like about you, you don't sell anything. You don't sell anything. Yeah. And you still a millionaire off the internet. Yeah. And and it's multi-millionaire. Come on, talk to him. Can we all just give her a hand clap for a minute? Because come on, y'all, this is a testament. Thank you. We can real. We can all do it. Stop selling your ass. Yeah. Yeah.
You,
don't
I
have
mean,
to
you
be
you
a
have to
product. You are the
know.
product.
Once you find your value, it's like tapping into a gold mine. Like I stopped working at the herb shop in 2019, and I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna work for anybody else again. And ever since, like you said, bills are automatically paid.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy to pay my rent on time, early, 3 weeks early. You know what I'm saying? It's because I started to believe in myself, and I distanced
Please.
myself from the fear. I had to sleep in the airport, JFK, several
Mm-hmm.
nights while I was in college. You know, I had to be homeless in Cali. I was homeless in New York, but I had to go through that to know my own power, to know my own resilience, to be able to handle the levels that I will achieve later in life. Because if I couldn't handle the lows, it's like, okay, you still need to go through some tests because you're not ready for the highs yet.
Yes. Yes. I remember those airport sleepovers.
If y'all in New York and you ever go through them low times, JFK, they got heat. I'm saying,
Can't stretch out though.
yeah. So yeah, that's something
Yeah,
that
taking yourself to that point, stripping
Mhm.
yourself of these fake comforts so
Yeah.
that you can allow your real energy to ascend. You know, because
Mm.
with these 401ks and salaries and,
Mhm.
you know, check every 2 weeks and things, this puts a cap on our potentiality.
Mm.
You know, grade school puts a cap on our potentiality. College puts a cap on our potentiality. A career puts a cap on your potentiality and your earnings.
Mm. Come on, don't limit yourself.
Don't limit yourself. Right? I'm like, folks are saying, I want to make such and such a year. I'm like, baby, what? It's no limit, baby. What?
Right.
Yeah. So,
Mm.
it's a choice, though. You have to make a choice.
Mm.
It is not an easy choice.
I want to talk about something that might be controversial. Maybe we don't have to speak on it too long, but what do you think about interracial dating?
No.
I have my thoughts on it, but
It's giving a fuck no for me, and I'm gonna just keep it 100. Let's be the
yeah.
fuck, okay? This is not an interracial world. No, I think no, hell to the no, and I'm gonna say it right now too. It's something
Yeah.
going on. Mixed folks
Yeah.
got a big, I'll say it, void. Let's get into it.
Come on.
Okay,
Come on.
come on, white mamas. I don't care. You can't raise
Yeah.
a black baby.
Mm. You don't know how to braid that hair. Come on, let's be honest.
You don't know how to nurture that soul, the tapestry of that soul. You don't know about all that went into the tapestry of that soul.
Mm.
So I personally feel like, y'all, interracial relationships are cool. People in interracial relationships are never fully confident in them because they're always making like humor and I just noticed, just start listening to folks that are in interracial couples. They always have to prove themselves. It's like, if y'all happy, be happy. The hell you for me. Because in a spirit, on the spiritual side, you feel it. Now, as much as we want, white folks are white folks. For lack of better words. White folks are white folks. Black folks are black folks.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't know what it's like to have the privilege of being white. I don't know what white privilege is. And I think that when you're raised with the essence of white privilege, and not the identity of white,
Mm.
you really struggle in life. I think that Black children really need a Black mother.
Mm. That's a fact.
Now, there are some souls here that incarnate just to do that.
Just to have that experience.
Just to have that experience.
Mm.
So that they can show, I feel like, so that the ills can be identified.
Somebody said, what about Latino and Black? That's the same thing, because they don't even think they Black. They don't think they're Black. So it's...
So when it's convenient. Yeah, same thing.
Yeah.
Asian, Black, any interracial, yeah.
Yeah.
So
because it's like I know what it is with this when it's like a black man and Black woman.
Look at Kanye.
Exactly. Come on.
Prime example of a psychosis. Prime example of what happens when you get astray from spirit.
Because your energy is heavily affected by it. You sleeping next to that person. That person's cooking your food. That I mean,
she used that man.
Come on, for the come up.
She used that man. And then she used the rhetoric, the propaganda, the culture against him.
So you think he would have been better off with the Black woman? I think so.
I think he should have been where Alexis Pfeiffer. You should have never left Alexis.
Oh, that was like through the wire.
Should have never left Alexis Pfeiffer. That's a bad girl. And if we keep it 100, Kim is studying Alexis Pfeiffer. Look at Kim's face and look at Alexis Pfeiffer. Natural face. Look at Khloe Kardashian's face and then look at Jordan Craig's face.
Hello. It's like I see a lot of Black women admiring to be the Kardashians where they don't realize that the Kardashians' inspiration came from a Black woman. It's a toxic, slippery slope. It's like, wait a minute, hold up. Yes, they don't have the features that y'all admire to have. Y'all naturally have these features.
Now again, what y'all gonna do? As I said, our structure is changing. The Earth's molecular structure is changing. We are changing. What are y'all gonna do with all these foreign substances in your body when this change comes?
Ooh. Because them hips don't lie, especially in like 10 years.
Timelines, I see explosions. People's body parts literally exploding because the frequency, the altitude, what's it called? As we get higher in the realms, we're going higher above sea level. I mean, lower. And the pressure is gonna have people's shit burst.
Ooh.
That might be too much for right here.
No, we are literally.
But we're going back into the waters. We came out of the water for many. We came out of the water and we evolved to be land people. We're coming back into the water.
We are literally shifting.
Y'all have to be careful and trust your intuitions. And don't just be getting in the water because some folks will get snatched down prematurely.
A lot of these waters are over spaces that y'all need to research, like look into lake.
I did my astrocartography, and she told me my Pluto line runs through Puerto Rico. And I always tell I love Puerto Rico, but I'm also afraid of Puerto Rico. It's a weird relationship that I have where I'm very fearful of the place, but I'm still called. as much as I love it, as much as I love the environment, I never let myself swim in the waters. And for some reason, and I'm a swimmer. I love to, I'm a mermaid in my mind. But for some reason, in that water, I would not allow myself to swim. And my astrocartographer was like, this, really trust your intuitions and stay out of Puerto Rico because you're someone who can get snatched from under in the water. So if you feel that, if you feel like, I'm not supposed to be in these waters, especially in the Caribbean. Okay, also think about it like this. Wherever your bloodline is, you have a stronger connection to that water. So if you're Caribbean, your connection to the Caribbean waters is going to be very strong. Now, another thing is if you're in Florida, you got to be very careful because that Florida water, the reason why it's so special is because it's the only place in the U.S. where the African waters and Caribbean waters and American waters meet. Those waters are very spiritual. I used to hold a ritual there, and we would dunk ourselves in that water, and the transformation is miraculous. Florida water is incredible for swimming, for revitalizing. It really has fountain of youth properties. A lot of people don't say that. I mean, they don't say that, but it's the reason why all of the world's richest folks live in Florida.
Let's talk about it. Come on. When NASA shoots out the rockets, and y'all always notice, I'm going to take it left for a second, but y'all always notice when NASA shoots the rockets, it never goes, the trajectory never goes straight up. It goes like a bend, like a curve, right? Though it always lands in the water in Florida. And then right there off the coast of Florida, you have the Bermuda Triangle. That's why Florida it seems like it's a whole different parallel universe. Vortex. You got the firmament that was found underneath the water. That's right there in the Gulf of Mexico. That's enclosing those Florida waters. And so you have not only the Bermuda Triangle, you got the firmament underneath. And so you have a time zone, and you have strong ley lines there as well. The ley lines is what's causing the Bermuda Triangle. So that just the energy of that area alone is what's causing that Florida just to seem like another dimension. What's causing people to kind of,
Yes. And I really do think that is just the portal. That's the portal to. I think that's the Atlantis portal, personally.
Yes,
there's known points. I think that's an Atlantis portal. I think that there's different portals, also different dimensions. Okay, so different entities come out of different portals. So these portals, like the portal on Disneyland, okay, that's a reptilian portal. That's going straight into that realm.
Take a look at the Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, it's on elevators, and there's different floors, and so that they say, it's a small world. Well, we could talk about Disneyland at a different time, but Disneyland is not what you think it is.
Nope, not at all.
Nothing about Disney is what the hell you think it is. And so these themed parks are in very strategic places around the world.
Come on.
These marigold, there's things that are very strategic, and what you think looks like an amusement park is really an apparatus for generating energy.
Talk to them. They wasn't ready.
It's a theme park, but the merry-go-round and the Matterhorn and the fucking whatever the other ride is all working together to create a frequency. Now, another thing, Area 51.
yeah, you
What's 54? That's the club. Okay. Boom. Are these really government sanctioned places or are these portals? It's giving portal. Vieques, Puerto Rico. If you're tapped in enough, you can feel the portal. You can feel that, ooh, there's some entities here. I highly suggest, if you're not scared, go to Vieques, Puerto Rico. The veil is so thin there. You could feel the door. Like, you could feel the portal. And I think that it's in the part of the island that's cut off to the public.
I heard it was like that in Mount Shasta as well. And Grand Canyon. Come on. They're not ready for that, though. They're not ready for the Grand Canyon, Mount Shasta.
Okay.
Talk.
The Grand Canyon is a major vortex.
Yeah.
Where I heard something so crazy is that if you get bit by something in the Grand Canyon, you might get a power.
There's a lot of disappearances in that area.
A lot of disappearances. Yeah, and see some of these entry points, the exit point is in another country.
Come
So
on.
that's why I feel like Los Angeles is really ancient. California, this is really an ancient Egyptian settlement that somewhere around here, there's a portal that's going to get me to Africa.
Come on. They're not ready for this because California used to be an island, y'all. California actually used to be an island. Do your research. Don't believe me. Try to prove me wrong. And California does have strong roots, underground tunnels that can get you places. California used to have actual griffins flying around. That's why they got Califia, the griffin queen. Like, if y'all, the more you tap into California, the more you see, like, yeah, it's a lot of heat.
Yeah, and it's like it's right under our noses, like the La Brea tar pit. I think that's like the craziest thing that they still allowed for us to see.
Right.
It's like right there on what is that?
Fairfax
and Fairfax.
Oh, Wilshire and
yeah,
Fairfax.
Right
Yeah,
there in Wilshire and Fairfax is a freaking woolly mammoth.
Come on.
The side of traffic, like.
And you know
and we just
what?
grow up going to.
And you pass it every day.
Yeah, and it's like, girl.
In a plain sight.
I grew up in Slauson Crenshaw area, View Park, and around my area, if you ever been to LA, there's like around Kenneth Park when you come over the hill. Also, side note, that's the highest point in the city. Okay, over hill.
Okay.
Over hills. That's why I think that people that come from Overhill and Slauson, we got a special power, special gift too. Start thinking about it. Think about the people that have ascended from Slauson and Overhill. It's the highest point in the city of Los Angeles. Okay, the portal. It's a portal there. A frequency. The frequency is very different from West Side. What people from West Side, LA to East Side, very different frequency. So
isn't that
LA,
over here? That sounds like Will Smith.
Tell you, but it's born. It is literally energetically from birth in the aura, a completely different energy and frequency. Once you pass the threshold, it's like once you go past Manchester, between Pico and Manchester, between Broadway, it's Broadway, Pico, Manchester, Sepulveda. In that little mix is a vortex of high frequent, of a very high melanated frequency.
Come on.
I don't know what it is. I don't know. Maybe we're sitting on a pyramid. That's what I think.
There's definitely pyramids in California.
Well, I feel like where these hills are pyramids.
Mm. You know,
Dilapidated pyramids. Like, what's her name? This astrologist was trying to prove that Phyllis Osiris is in the mountain off of 101. Now,
mm.
just keep that in your mind and pay attention to the energy that you feel
Mm-hmm.
when you are on that freeway.
Mm.
Some things we may never know, but you got to pay attention to the energies.
I feel the energy when I'm on a PCH.
Well, like you're underwater.
The PCH, like, I don't know, just that whole Malibu area has a special, it's like you can just feel it when you're there. Like when you go to Lake Shrine, when you go to Lake Shrine off of Mount Shasta, or off of PCH, you can just feel like it's speaking to your body. It's like a language that's happening with your soul and the energy that's in that area. And I do feel like a lot of shows that we see, they hide it in plain sight too, like Westworld. Like the entrance to the game, the entrance to the fake world was the Grand Canyon.
Yeah.
And like if you watch the show La Brea, they were saying like
La Brea is okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's my shit. Okay,
right?
now,
Come on.
now, La Brea is some real shit.
Mm.
Now that can happen when the frequency, when the pressures change. What's happening right now? The pressures of the pressure. I'm not a scientist, okay? I don't know these words of what
We know what you mean.
Are.
Yeah.
The pressure of the earth is changing. Okay. Okay. So that's why I say you got to get right with spirit. You can't be living in fear. Because you could be traveling, next year, you know, California, then shifted down into the ancient world. Now, I just pray, you know, I just know that the Lord, wherever the Lord puts me, it's going to be a good fit, okay? Because the Lord knows, you know, a certain timeline and dimension that's not for me. Pray about that, too. Pray about that, too. Like, Spirit, you know, this is kind of like the last dimension that I really kind of want to just be in the ghetto. So, please just help me so that I can stay on the right path.
Yo, talking about shifting timelines, let's talk about some off the wall shit too, because I personally, in my own life, I know for sure, I don't care what anybody says, when I was moving in my last apartment, this dude gave me one pastry dish, one glass pastry dish, like a ramekin, a glass ramekin for sauces, because he was moving. And then that one ramekin turned into two. I don't know what happened. This dude only gave me one ramekin. Now I have two. And I thought that I was going crazy. So I was like, there's no way I can say this online and people believe me. Then I saw that it was happening to other people. Like they would, let's say like they would go upstairs for 5 minutes and come back down.
I don't think we should talk about this here.
Okay. So one thing I will say is timelines are shifting. Timelines are
shifting, and people are coming into having different abilities and skills.
And you have to be.
Know what ability and skills you have, though.
What do you mean?
And you know that's another reason why we're not shadow bans, because they're watching us too.
Come on.
And you know, other governments use you as well. You know, some folks are off limits.
I always like to say some people are untouchables. Like there's just like, I think signifiers that happens in your life to kind of let you know, like, oh, okay, my shit's gonna be different. You know, like I was saying on my life the other day, like you'll have people as vessels that come into your life at certain points to remind you, like, hey, you have a calling on your life, or hey, don't forget that you're supposed to do this in your life. And you live by different rules too. Like you might be an untouchable, but let's say like you go outside and you litter. Like your consequence, your sole consequence for littering is going to be different from, you know, like the average person. You're living in this enlightened path. So you have different rules to karma. You have different rules and consequences because you are like the chosen one. You know, you are here you could be here from another dimension,
That you can see kind of in your birth chart too.
Let's talk about it.
My birth chart, is psychic all through there. So that lets me know like what this incarnation was about. Then I think about my name. My name literally means believe in priestess. We don't always know what our names mean, but they do.
Your name holds an energetic frequency too. I mean,
now the energetic, it was no, I don't think that it was an coincidence that I was gifted the last name Cohen. That name protects me. Cohen, the Cohen and the Levi's are the only two that can actually give people physical blessings. They're like the matriarch family in Judaism. Almost like it's like they believe like these are the first incarnations of God, this family. So it's very interesting because the Cohen bloodline is very coveted, meaning that ain't no black ass. They didn't intentionally bring your black ass into the mix, and if they did, they believe it as a spiritual union of you were brought in to strengthen the bloodline. So I think that folks look at me as the strengthening of the bloodline. So all my life, I've been invited into rooms that my black ass would never be, simply because of my last name. It will have these white folks. They when they hear Cohen, they act right.
That's true.
The thing with the Jews is, unlike us, is they don't care. Once you got the title, you got the title. It don't matter if you're black, white, green, blue, purple, whatever. You're under the protection of the title now.
They run Hollywood too.
They run Hollywood.
Come on.
I think they're fearful of the spiritual consequences. Something happens to me, something happens to their bloodline. Now, let's think about this. I am adopted with this name. So this was really a spiritual orchestration. So I think that in your birth chart can kind of give you this confidence because you can see it in the chart, psychic or not, clairvoyant or not, medium or not, you can see it and they can see it too. And so I truly believe, I think CNN, they got somebody following me from CNN, they got somebody from all the news outlets. And you think that they don't run these stories past psychics? Yeah, I mean, I've had jobs like that. I've had some big wig jobs where they like looked for some psychic confirmation. But yeah,
that's they snatch a lot of these ideas. They snatch a lot of these ideas. They watch who people are following.
Boom. Now, I think I'm a top influencer. I think I am the top influencer.
Come on now.
Now, I'm a top influencer. If you keeping me on here is predicting market trends.
Somebody said they death monitor our birth charts. Come on, that's a whole topic.
Oh, they definitely stop posting that shit. They definitely monitoring the birth chart. Everything, all the data is saved.
They know.
And a lot lot of us are working for Instagram, we're working for social media and not allow, like, okay, boo, this is what I want to tell you. So I love that you have 3D Mystery School and you are facilitating this elsewhere, because what happens is you end up working for the algorithm. So you are, and you sharing all this information, what it's doing is strengthening their defense, creating new markets to exclude you from. For example, okay, but there's a recommended buku of skincare products. Okay, now when it comes to marketing these skincare products, they know. Okay, for example, I'm the uterus cleanse. You go on eBay, on Amazon, you can see that the people that are commenting about the uterus cleanse come from me. Okay, now the uterus cleanse feels some type of way about the HoodHealer name. They would love, if I changed my name, it would be a different game. But it's the HoodHealer name and the fact and my allegiance to the community, and the fact that they can't get me to water down my message for a coin. See what I'm saying? So I feel like on social media now, you're creating a market for someone, or you're creating a market that they can exclude you from. For example, I have back to the creams. I recommended all these creams. Now we know the oil, the cream. Okay. Now what happens is another celebrity will endorse it. Okay. The celebrity follows you. The celebrity takes all your juice and takes it to their market, which they can exclude you from. So that happens all the time. I'll suggest a skincare product. A celebrity will endorse it. Blow me out the water. Then that same celebrity will be looking for me for the next whatever. And then the crazy shit is they'll be talking to me, DMing me behind the scenes, trying to keep it cool. They'll thank me behind the scenes. They'll engage me behind the scenes. But in the public.
Who is she? Come on.
Y'all know. It happens.
You know how they do it.
It happens all the time. And it hurts my feelings, because this is my life. I'm very fucking passionate about this shit. And I'm passionate about my community. So for me to share somebody in my community and for my sharing change their life, I feel some type of way. If for me sharing you went from being employed to being your independent entrepreneur, and you can't give me no credit. I don't like you. I don't like that.
Not reciprocating the love.
Yeah, so that brings me back. There's a lot of great folks on social media with gifts to share, but then they get caught up with this algorithm. Nobody's algorithm is as strong as mine. That's why I feel like they'd be losing their shit, because they didn't know it was so easy. All you had to do was have this girl co-sign you, and these folks are just buying up your shit. So that's why I had an issue with Ginger Detox by Declue when she was not being, in my opinion, racially sensitive. She made a public statement about how she did the research, whatever, and I gave her 20K followers. Now, my 20K followers spend money. Let's just do some quick math. What's 1%? 20K, you have a $5,000 program, 20K, what's 1%? So when I say publicly You can't talk to these people like I talk to them. You didn't earn it. I'm not saying that shit to throw my weight. This is some real ass shit. Now, because I pulled your card in public, which that's hard for a lot of people. Again, I'm from Slauson and Crenshaw, so this is my makeup. So that's another issue people have is I'm very big on integrity. The same shit that how I maneuver on the streets is how I maneuver online. So in my opinion, if I say, yo, you made life-changing money, all you got to do is have some compassion when you speak to these people, and you say, no, fuck that, I'm not fucking with you. Well, then I got to go through my court. I got to go through, baby, you can't be on my damn, you can't be in the benefit of my presence anymore. So that's happening a lot on social media. It's bringing out a negative energy in me, so I got to keep me in prayer, y'all. But it doesn't feel good. And that's what happens on this algorithm. You know, I am going to talk too much shit. I'm for the people. I'm for the people. I could have sold out long ago. Sometimes I think about if I could have did it a different way, and maybe somebody behind me could come up like this. If I could have did it a different way, I wouldn't have exposed everything right now. I would have waited until I got into the gate for them to then know that I was black as fuck.
Right.
I would have waited until then. But I was afraid to die, honestly. I was afraid to die. So that will shift the way that you share information too. So again, you know, it is what it is. It is what it is, but I don't like what's happening here on social media.
I think it's all about to change.
Yeah.
Especially when
it is. I'm gonna start having some shit back on the block.
That in person is
really
different.
Fuck up the algorithm. What are you gonna do? Well, you don't have anyone to copy. You don't have energy to harvest from, because that's the thing. Y'all gonna realize a lot of folks are harvesting energy from the Hood Healer, making whole careers from the Hood Healer, making whole movies from the Hood Healer.
Come on. Secondary sources. Come on.
So when you
trying to imitate the primary source.
Yeah, when you start recognizing that, that's when you got to build your own community and realize, okay, I did everything there is to do on these Instagram streets. Now it's time to get back into community, because this shit will also have you fucked up in your ego, because that shit hurt your feelings, you know? You'll have your ego distorted, waiting for validation from these folks. That's why you got to get into the streets, you know? Because for a long time, I was like, fuck. It's very hard to love the Black community. I'm risking my fucking life for these motherfuckers, and every other day, they're talking to me crazy online. I could have signed a multi-million-dollar deal, few deals, and said, fuck y'all. But I put my neck on the line. And anytime I challenge y'all to think outside of the box, y'all call me everything but a child of God, that hurts. Then you have people in the industry doing it. Then you have people who seem to be spiritual people doing it. It is heartbreaking. So yeah, for my spirit, I realized like I gotta get up off of this bitch, because this is not for real niggas like me.
Yeah. Now,
does that mean I'm gonna pull my presence completely? No, because I still made a couple million off this shit. Like through all the bullshit, I still made me a couple mil. So now with all of this, I'm like, okay, now I can really hit it. And it's going to really hit because you can feel my energy.
Yeah. And it's real. So
I would say, you know, I think I love these conversations, and I love the facilitation of these conversations. And I think that in person, these conversations can really be transformative. I think that it's time for us as a collective to recognize we've outgrown this space and we found each other. That's what we were here to do. We were here to find each other. Now we found each other. Now it's time to commune.
You know what? There needs to be like a real life soul gathering, like the way. Okay, y'all. Looks like we're gonna have to wrap it up with this one because they cut us off every hour. Or maybe they have a time limit. I'm not sure. So this will probably be the last little segment, y'all. We've been going for 2 hours, so we got cut off. Yeah, we've been going for 2 hours, y'all. So this is probably gonna be the last little stretch here. It's an hour. Oh, you mean they cut us off after an hour? They cut off after an hour. Got you. Yeah, maybe it's a time limit. Yo, this whole thing has been just a beautiful exchange, y'all. Let me know when y'all see Imani come back in here, so we can go ahead and finish off this live. Part 3, yes. Yes, and I see that some people are requesting to go live. This today was actually just like me and Imani going back and forth. Maybe the next one we do, we can bring some people in. But today was just, we wanted to have this exchange. Living for this exchange. Yo, we do be losing track of time for. You already knew what it was. The conversation is just flowing. So we go finish it off here. Yo, we definitely lost track of time. 2 hours just flew by like it was nothing.
If y'all don't mind, let's blend the clock for me. Do you mind?
Oh no, let's I was gonna say let's finish it off here because I know you probably got.
I'm still cool. I'm just gonna bring my libation.
Oh, cool. Okay. Yes. So for the people that are wondering about blessings, I saw the last question we had, somebody was asking about the natal chart. So different blessings in your natal chart, right? If you have a sign that's with this ruling planet, that's one blessing. So a sign that is in this ruling planet, that's a blessing. Now, if you have 2 or 3 signs that are in the ruling planets, that's a major blessing. Like Da Vinci had 4 signs in the ruling planets, and y'all saw the effect that he still has on society today. So look for a sign in your ruling planet. That's one blessing. Another blessing is having a sign in the house of the rules. That's another blessing. Especially depending on the aspects of that house and aspects of that sign. And another one is if you have Jupiter conjuncting your north node, especially conjuncting your midheaven in your 10th house, then you have to look out to see what's happening there, because that's pretty much saying like this is what you're supposed to do. So for example, I have Pluto and Scorpio in my 12th house, so you have to see what those mean and what that means for you and like your natural innate abilities and things like that, so yeah, just get to know your natal chart. And once you know your natal chart, astrocartography won't seem foreign to you. Like you're going to know what spaces bring out different aspects of your life, Yeah, so that's a way to look for blessings in your natal chart.
Mm-hmm. Travel to the places you feel called.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Destination, like destiny is, or location is destiny. Like you can take out a map and you can just see the places that you travel from the moment in your incarnation to like just throughout your life. You can kind of see the places you travel, the meaning of those places. Sometimes you might feel called to go certain places. That might be a karmic connection. Sometimes you might just be called to go to a place so you can encounter somebody, so you can change their lives. So always be open, especially like, let's say you go out somewhere and you hear a conversation, somebody talking about like, yeah, I would just say like Jamaica. And then you go to a bookstore and you just happen to see a vacation guide for Jamaica. And then you go get your hair done and they're talking about Jamaica. That's like somebody's telling you that maybe you need to go ahead and go to Jamaica.
Yeah.
So look out. Yeah. Look out for signs.
Yeah, listen to that. And yeah, astrocartography has changed my life. I've had a transformational reading. I'm gatekeeping my reader though, until all my homies and my home I will share.
Yeah.
I will share eventually, but it's interesting. People say this all the time, like my lives are better when I'm on the East Coast, and it's true. Because I'm swimming in Neptunian energy here. The Neptune energy is out of whack, and I'm on my Saturn line. So in LA, this is just, baby, it's just all the trials and tribulations here, and internal and external. So just it's like life is harder than it needs to be. And I'm also like underwater. I'm underwater, but I feel like I download very subterranean kind of things when I'm in this element. But I do feel like I'm my best when I'm in New York, which is on my moon sign, and I look and feel the best when I'm in Miami, which is on my Venus line. Actually, my Venus line runs through the South down to the Caribbean. So wherever I'm like in the sticky humidity, baby, I'm doing good. So that's important to know. And I feel like for me, you know, being homeless and all of the things, I needed to be able to come back home and transcend some things at home. I feel like for my confidence, I needed to know that I could survive and thrive in LA, to be able to survive and thrive other places. Feel me?
Yeah. Yeah, another thing to look out for too, since we were talking about astrocartography, one day maybe in the future, Imani, I want to like do a deep dive in your chart, even though you have like your own astrocartography, you know, person.
I would love that.
Yeah, I would definitely do a deep dive on your chart. Like if you're going through like your Jupiter return, if you go to your Jupiter line, you would think that you're floating on cloud nine. Like it's important, if you know your natal chart, you can know when your Venus return is happening, when your Saturn return is happening. You can kind of gear up for changes in your life. And if you know that you haven't made the best of choices up until your Saturn return, then maybe you need to go visit your Jupiter line so it can offset some of that karma that's coming, you know. And also when you go to a different address, look up the number frequency of that address. Like all of this, all of this plays out. Like,
home. I did a workshop on that on OnlyFans. The numerology of a home is crazy. Man, the perspective that you can gain from just learning about where spirit situates you. Yeah. So also doing the numerology of my home helped me realize that this is not my damn home. This is not my forever home, and that it's the time's up. So
yeah, gematria too. Look up your street name. It's like and y'all think that the controllers or the people that run things, they don't use this? No, they live by this. Like this is their language. This is how they speak.
Look up what my first, I was should I say the street name? I don't know.
Nah, people will be you tomorrow. For real.
Not the street that I live on now, but my childhood street name.
Oh yeah, let us know. Let us know.
Laredo Way was the name of the street. Laredo Way. And I lived in two houses on that street. My childhood to my teens. And I just wonder what I never looked the name up.
Mm, Laredo Way. That's gonna be a, you gonna have people making that a monument now.
They
But
should.
yeah, yeah, you look up that you look up that name, the energetic frequency, it tells you a lot. Like if your address has like a 9, a 6, a 5, like my last apartment, this is how sometimes you know that you're in alignment with something because my last apartment was 906 and it's the same for the apartment that I'm in right now.
Mm.
Like, and there's no like the odds of that happening, the odds of that happening is like you can, that just doesn't happen. That lets you know that you're in your life is
What's the significance of six for you?
um it just depends. Like it depends on, okay, so when I first look at a number like 6, I look at what my age is. I look at what the number means. Like for 6, it means my lessons right here are going to be increased because it's the double of 3.
Mhm.
And so
I look at
it's
six as
tied to karma.
increase.
Yeah,
I think of six as increase.
yeah. So after I pass this level here, because the lessons that I'm learning right now in this apartment was the lessons that I failed to learn in my last apartment when I had 906. So, like,
Embracing increase.
exactly. Once know that I deserve what I'm being tested with, once I pass and gain this lesson, then after here, I won't go through the same things I'm going through right now because I would have, like you said, increased my chances. Like, and I'm going through my nodal return right now because I'm 37.
Mm.
So I'm going through my nodal return. So the choices that I make right now can expedite my life path because I'm at a very pivotal age. Your nodal return is like if you don't get in contact, if you don't tap in with your North Node energy during this time, then you can get lost in the sauce for real. So I'm tapping into my Taurus North Node. I'm accepting peace more. I'm accepting luxury. I'm embracing the materials. I'm getting, putting my hands in the dirt, gardening, like becoming a Taurus.
Things grow, yeah.
Be- becoming a Taurus. And with knowing that, you can also see like somebody that I thought I was in love with, their North Node was a Scorpio and my South Node was a Scorpio. So just knowing those type of things, you're like, oh shit, it's not gonna work.
The
Or
toxicity, yeah.
yo,
But that's the thing though. You wouldn't get the lesson if it's like some shit we skate by looking at the chart. Now, had you known what you known about her, would you have the lessons in love that you have?
no,
You just looked
not
at
at
your
all.
chart and said, "Oh shit, hell no!" With that South Node Scorpio, hell no. You all
Nah.
talking about demons and things. No,
Nah.
but had you just experienced that, who knows what you could have became and what you could have transcended? Because who's to say it's not going to work in the chart? I don't
that
think
synastry is
that
real.
ever. It's all about interpretation. I don't think the chart ever tells you like, hell no, this ain't gonna work. It can tell you it's gonna have some challenges here. We just don't want to dive into the challenges. The challenges are the work. Let me tell you something. When I was like, this is gonna be my last incarnation in this ghetto, I was like, you know what? Bring it the fuck on.
Yeah.
Bring it on. If I'm supposed to be going through the things to go through the things, then we finna go through it because I'm not coming back to this ratchet tree.
Yo.
If I could incarnate, if I could skip my baby, if my baby could come through the rabbit hole with me, okay, because I did the work, then that's where the hell we go. I feel like some folks, like, yeah, stop looking for easy love.
How do you know when you with your twin flame? Because a lot of people are thinking it's gonna be easy. Like, what do you think? How did you know when you were with your twin flame? How did you know that like you're with your twin flame?
So, my North Node is in Aquarius. I'm actually
Oh,
very Aquarian.
that's
And my
good to know.
partner is actually very Virgoian. He's a Virgo, the North Node. So there's aspects of Dennis that I strive to be, and there's aspects that I strive to embody, and there's aspects in myself that he strives to embody. And I feel like, it's your twin flame when the mirror, it's like they're holding up the mirror to you, but they've got some frame of reference. It's like, I feel like spirit aligns you with support. Like Phil was saying the other day, at some point, spirit aligns us with the mate because we've done enough alone.
Okay.
What you laughing at?
Somebody said no one is with their twin flame. What y'all talking about? Come on. Like, y'all think that we just out here just finding soulmates and nobody ends up with their twin flame?
Yeah, and the thing is sometimes people feel like the twin flame's not always what it's cracked up to be.
Come on. You seen that movie Hancock?
Hello? The twin flame is not always what it's cracked up to be. It ain't always rainbows and merry-go-rounds. Okay, the twin flame is like really taking you through some shit. So I feel like, it's a twin flame when they have some frame of reference to help guide you. Like, spirit doesn't just put you with somebody who you're just blindly going through the journey with. Like, they might not have the experience, but they might have a little more faith than you. They might have had an experience that has cultivated a stronger spiritual fortitude in you that's necessary to help you transcend this space. Does that make sense?
Yeah, most definitely. Twin flame is gonna bring out that best in you.
I also feel like we timeline jump. We have many lives in this life. So to say that you just have one partner forever, I don't think that.
Hello.
And that's where my partner and we align. Like, yeah, we love each other, but we might evolve and bring a woman into our relationship. And then I might move on with that woman, or you might move on with that woman, or, we might move separately. Who knows? But I don't I also experienced a lot of death in my life. So I don't try to possess people. I'm not trying to make lifetime commitments. You know what I mean? Like, my only lifetime commitment is to my child. So I'm saying, we don't have a lifetime commitment to each other. We just have a lifetime commitment to her. That's some worldly shit that keeps the souls on earth. You think we are supposed to just have one teacher in life? No. So that's why I also feel like the idea of marriage under the Western society is a death pledge. Because who's to say I'm going to be with your ass through sickness and health and through death just for one? The hell no. Because, baby, I'm a new person every day. I'm surely not the same woman that I was yesterday. Surely not the same woman I was last year. Definitely not the same woman I was since having a child. Now, we automatically think of negativity when it's like, okay, you're not going to be forever breaking up. Negative. Why does it have to be negative? I think that's a learning too. To be able to maintain friendship with someone that you loved on that level, that's an exercise. That's a transcendence. That's not easy to do. Which is why I feel like co-parenting is so hard. Because co-parents struggle because they're trying to sort out what they think is a commitment to each other, when really all y'all are here to be present for is the commitment to the kid.
Come on. Somebody said my Venus and Gemini. I understand. I'm a Venus and Gemini. I get it too, yo.
Yeah, so you know your Venus and Gemini, Mercury, you be in your head, you be in your body. One twin want to be married, the other twin want a girlfriend, you know.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's how we're supposed to live. That's how the ancients lived. That's how the royals lived. People just don't want to do the work. See what I'm saying? It takes work and it takes money. You know, I think like a polygamous lifestyle, I'm not opposed to that.
Really?
Hell no.
Talk about it. What does that
Everybody
entail?
did their work.
It scares me. It scares me. So because it's just like with the way that human emotion is, it's like jealousy, anger, possession. Like, I know that you can never possess anybody. Like, you just have to admire them for the time being. Like you said, they might be gone tomorrow, but you have to appreciate the time, learn and take the lessons and let go of the person. But when it comes to multiple people at the same time, I just don't like, I wouldn't personally, maybe it's my Cancer sun, I don't know, but like, I just don't know how I could handle that, because I'm more of like a monogamous, like traditional.
That's wanting to control.
Really?
That's you just wanting to control. You're a freakly. You mentally need multiple stimulation. So your mind just wants to control that reality, because it's like, oh, this feels good. I want to control it. Yeah, but I do think that polygamy, and this is all new evolution of my mind, because before I was like, hell no, my man can't be with nobody, you know. But I feel like polygamy, yeah, that is the true art of detachment. And that energy, jealousy, what else did you say?
Jealousy, possession, worry, like anger.
Those are big energies that only love can conquer.
Yeah, I want that lifelong, let's grow old, let's be on the porch with rocking chairs. You know, I can't just imagine.
We could all be on that motherfucker together. And I'm gonna be swinging on that rocking chair till I die.
Yo.
Yeah, because you're a multi-dimensional being.
Facts.
I just want to know, like, well, Matt, who could I be if all my beings were loved?
Ooh.
Who could my partner be if all his beings were loved?
So when it comes to that, right? Like when it comes to being fluid, because this goes back to like the divine.
Now again, you got to do the works. You got to do the work. You can't be fluid with everybody.
Right.
And that's why I don't have no sister wife. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can't be fluid with everybody. You got to do the work.
Right.
That's a lot of work.
For real.
And a lot of people don't want to do that.
Because just imagine, like, when you're in a relationship with one person, so many aspects come out in that relationship that doesn't come out when you're by yourself. Because that person is bringing out the trauma. That person is triggering you for you to become better. So with two people, doing that, yo, I mean, you might heal quicker because you got two people challenging you, two people triggering you.
You're transcending what? And then you can get into, okay, you know what? Actually, we could go back to monogamous. I feel like it's all about experiences. We need to have more experiences in life. I don't want no stone unturned. So if you see me pop up with my sister wife, it's our family photo, baby. Give us your blessing because we happy. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, I heard it. I love that. How many is too many?
two is cool.
Mm.
I don't need like a cult, you know. Two, you know what I mean? Like we need two. We can keep it cool. Yeah, three is cool. Maybe four max. Biggest thing is, I feel like with polygamous lifestyles, y'all got to have the money for this, okay? Independently. So, are you a multimillionaire? Because you can't be with that person not.
I feel like it could only happen though. Maybe this is me with limited thinking. I don't know. Help me out. Help me to expand. But like, I feel like it can only be with a woman, because if you're in a relationship and you bring in another man, that means your man like man.
Okay, but
Or
so
in this,
now for me, in my reality, I only see another woman, and for my husband, I only see that reality happening.
yeah.
But a lot of women need to realize that their husband's bisexual, honey.
Hello.
And so
They
are
ain't
you.
ready.
And
They
so
ain't
are,
ready.
and so are you.
I'm bisexual.
No, not you.
Oh.
No, I'm not saying. No, I'm not putting on you.
Oh.
I'm just saying. No, I'm not. No, we ain't going there. No, we ain't doing that. But I'm saying it's a
Yeah.
lot of bisexual men out
Yeah.
here.
That's
And
a fact.
I think that more folks will have the familial unit that they desire if they were honest about their desires. Let me let my point on that.
If somebody said, "What if he likes men?" Yo,
Yeah,
okay,
that's your husband right now likes men.
Come on. Some people are just more open about it, but you see them at that basketball game when he gives them a good game, and that hand lands there for like 10 seconds. Y'all know what it is. Y'all know what it is. Come on, man. We form these like bromances, right? We form these connections, and sometimes the bromance might go a little deeper, and the dude might end up choosing that dude over his girl, and then you might have to face your unbalanced masculine, your masculine and feminine that's happening,
Now,
and a lot.
Go ahead.
A lot of men are in denial. Like somebody just said it, denial is a river in Egypt. A lot of men are in denial. So you got a lot of men that are on down low, trying to keep up the facade of liking a woman because they're not ready to face who they truly are. And if you're not ready,
well, who are they really? Is somebody who's been abused, because a lot of the Black community, and I'm just going to speak for our community. For many folks, our sexuality was not chosen. We have a curse upon us through post-traumatic slave syndrome that causes a lot of folks to be sexually promiscuous. I don't know what they're laughing at, because this is a serious topic now.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the women too.
Women
Come
too.
on, it's not just the men.
Yeah, women too. There is a lot of abuse and molestation in the home. And for men, for women, it's like that sexual curiosity or even indecision or trauma is sometimes sex is even more sexualized, celebrated, and coveted. It's like a woman can go through the things and that's fine. A man, though, can go through these transitions, and now he's a fag. Now he's homo. You see what I'm saying? It's not fair and it's not right. Now, the thing that's different too is the male and female anatomy, okay? Which can be confusing. Once a man's anus has been penetrated, okay, and he feels that full body orgasm, that is hard to transcend.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying?
I mean,
so now you not experience and again, trigger warning. Imagine that feeling of euphoria associated with abuse, and now shame. Now you're afraid to be who you really are, or you're afraid to engage your desires. Now you're ashamed that this is even a desire.
And the root of it too is a lot of we don't talk about this enough, but you got a lot of men that are abusing these little children, and then that child grows up to say I hate men, and then they choose to be homosexual.
Right.
They like women. That's right, and
Yeah.
vice versa.
I said this a lot. Most people's sexuality is rooted in preference, in trauma. Excuse me, in trauma, not preference, in trauma.
Come on, what about a man's penis penetrating the anus, which is said to be tighter than the... Okay, that's a whole... What are y'all talking about? That's called breaking man, buck breaking. Well, buck breaking actually comes from slavery. That comes from like when you actually intentionally force your way into a man's, you know, area to break him down. So that's more like some prison shit. We're not talking about that right here. We're talking about choosing...
but that
choosing your...
perversion still lives.
Yeah.
That perversion still lives. That behavior still exists. It might not be in front of all the slaves to see, but it's still happening behind closed doors.
And I mean, we gonna talk about
a lot of these elite organizations, Greek organizations, Kappa, Alpha, Omega.
They're not for you, black people. They're not for you.
That's a whole nother thing. That's a recruit. They recruit you to work the system. They recruit you all. You know, it's so many things. But it's like, what is? I was thinking about this. I visited my HBCU, I visited Bennett College for homecoming this past October, which is in jeopardy of closing again. This is my alma mater, but I'm gonna just be honest. I'm disappointed because what the hell keeps happening with all the fucking money? Every year, it's like y'all are in jeopardy of closing, and every year you get this huge endowment, and then the next year you're in jeopardy of closing again.
Every single year.
Every single year. So the misappropriation of funds amongst these institutions is a conversation. And then it's like, what? Okay, so if America, America's not invested in anything that is for our advancement. So if America's investing in the education of these black minds, it's really the long-term investment is for them to run the system that entraps these black minds.
The illusion of inclusion.
Right. Right. So instead of doing the dirty work, we're going to put this black doctor here to do the dirty work. We're going to put this black lawyer here to do the dirty work. We're going to have this black teacher here to do the dirty work. Now this black teacher is out here diagnosing all these black kids with ADHD.
Facts. And that's a whole I mean, they make money off of every child that they diagnose. Come on.
Now you got people's lives.
Yeah, now you're medicating your child who's perfectly normal. He's just daydreaming. That's what they do. You know, you think your child has ADHD, and now you're giving them all these medications and changing the biochemistry of their mind. Now they actually do grow up and their mind is actually changing.
Same thing with depression.
Come on. Hello.
You're not really depressed. You're upset. You're having a moment. You're maybe malnourished, mineral deprived. But now you are taking Lexapro. Now you can't not be on Lexapro. Now you can't function without it. So yeah, a lot of folks who had spiritual disease now have mental and physical illness.
Yo, let me just say that too. A lot of chosen ones, I think, are heavily mixed diagnosed because they want to intentionally alter our minds because they know what we're here to do.
Of
And
course, they do the indigos. Yes, those are the ones
yes,
that they say got eight. That's what they did to me. You can't
mm,
figure out you're schizophrenic. Maybe it's a processing disorder. Maybe it's ADD. Maybe it's ADHD. Definitely needs to be
mm,
in resource. You
come on.
know, all of that, it does a lot of mental damage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they misdiagnosed me with bipolar. And I do think that a lot of us show symptoms of like autism because the way that our brains work, like our brains are literally like that's why a lot of people who are chosen ones, like they call us neurodiverse because our brains literally are wired different. That's why we are problem solvers. That's why you come up with all these prophetic visions and people are like, how's a hood healer doing this? It's because your mind is different. Like clairaudience, clairvoyant, like that's a real thing. And so a lot of times man tries to diagnose something of the soul that they can't really figure out. So they try to call it depression or schizophrenia. If you look at the definition for schizophrenia, one of the definitions is not trusting the government. That should let you know in itself who wrote the definition. It's reasons why you shouldn't trust the government. But they they try to tell you all these things, come up with all these terms so that you think when you're at home talking to yourself, you're crazy, but really talking to yourself is healing. They try
Yeah.
to they try to control how you behave when you're by yourself, when really the things that you naturally do at home, like coming up with these ideas, laughing, all this stuff, it's your soul being a soul. Like you hear human being is what you're supposed to be doing, just being a human. But a lot of us are just entrapped and try to adjust to a crazy world. But why would you want to adjust to a crazy world? We're living in a large asylum, like for real, for real. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think a lot of us are better off with never going to school, never touching a preschool, elementary school, college, all this stuff.
I
Like,
agree.
look at that.
I agree. I think
Mm-hmm.
it just takes a commit. It's a whew, it's a lot. It's a
Mm-hmm.
recommitment to learning and a recommitment to teaching.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we have to also be honest about our strengths. And
Mm-hmm.
since the pandemic, I feel like a lot of parents have taken education into their own hands. And not every parent is a damn teacher.
Yeah,
You know,
thanks.
and like it's like you can love your kid and want to nurture your kid and all the things, but you could have chaotic energy. You could
Mm.
be educated. You could be a teacher yourself, but you could have chaotic energy and your kid just not be receptive to that. I do feel like there needs to be a distinction. I feel that there's things to learn from your parents, there's things to learn from other people.
Mm. Mm.
So I feel also within this pandemic, I see a dumbing down. People think that their kids are really um, like being more exposed in homeschool, but they're really not. It's like,
Mm.
yes, yeah, there's a lot of fucked up shit going on in school, but
Mm.
you think about your education. You don't remember
Mm.
none of those academics, but you learned some life skills on the playground.
Mm.
You learned life skills walking home from school.
Come on.
You see what I'm saying? You learn life skills from interacting with those students, interacting with teachers, being from being in transit from school to home.
Mm-hmm.
Taking that away from kids, I don't think that that's right. Taking social away from kids because you're afraid of people having guns and things. That's why these
Mm-hmm.
kids are freaking, they're weird. They have no
Yeah.
faith. They're
Mm-hmm.
paranoid. They're anxious.
Mm-hmm.
It's bad enough that their psyches are being shaped in this pandemic atmosphere. And then you're fortifying this by telling them to wear a mask at school,
Mm.
going enlisting this fear with them, telling them, everything's scary, everything's dangerous.
Yeah.
They're way far. I think these kids are way worse off than like.
I mean, they just made part of the shot list, the official shot list to get the new jab as a requirement for children to go to school. So I definitely think that maybe in the next year or two, school's going to look like your child at home with a VR headset, like in a virtual classroom with these other children. Because a lot of parents, like you said, are taking back the power. And the way that we see school now is just changing. Like you got Chat GPT, where you can tell a computer like 5 words and have them print out a whole essay for you, and your teacher would not know the difference
Yeah,
because you can just.
you know,
Mhm.
after we go dark, I'm gonna give y'all a prediction. After we
Okay.
go dark,
Mm.
which is gonna feel like the purge. Okay, nothing will be the same, and people won't be going to school and going to work and doing things like they did anymore.
There's an event. Oh shit! There's an event that's coming. You said it on Twitter. I feel like a lot of people can feel this event that's coming. A lot of people have been saying it since the pandemic started. It's like you can energetically feel something's coming, and it's been building up and building up and building up. And it's like the elephant is in that room tap dancing. Like, okay, we all see it. When is this balloon gonna burst? But it's like knowing that and still like not living in fear, but just being aware,
Well,
like, and what is
the
being.
balloon popped already
Oh, okay.
all over the world.
Literally, no, literally, the balloons, yo. um, it's funny because we're only in February, and the shit that's happening, like, um, it's accelerated, like 10 by
Well,
10.
we're seeing Star Wars now.
Yeah.
We're starting to see it come down. Well, it's always been happening, but now it's coming into our vision. They can't hide it. So, I mean, maybe it's an operation. I don't know. Maybe it's going to be something real. Maybe it's going to be something fake, but it's going to be something. Yeah. Dennis said the alien introduction is coming soon. I wouldn't be surprised if the alien introduction does happen here in Aquarius season.
They had that UNICEF commercial not too long ago where they brought this little alien kid in the classroom and introduced him to a regular classroom. It's like, this is your new, like, this is how they do it, y'all. This is how they condition us. We see commercials and stuff, and like 10 years later, it actually happens. And then we're so conditioned that we're like, oh, it's a little alien kid. What planet are you from? Or that's how it happens. I mean, it's slowly but surely. Now they have us talking about Mandela effects and timeline shifts like it's a normal occurrence. They coming out with this movie this month called Quantum Mania. So it's like they put it out there, they make it seem like it's regular to us. And so a Mandela effect it's not like a thing anymore like it used to be. It's just now like oh yeah, it used to be this thing when I was growing up, now it's this thing. And like that's what it is. So times are shifting, paradigms are shifting, the way that we knew the world is shifting.
Yes, and we have to move. We got to allow the shift to happen. Yes, the whole Marvel catalog. We've been watching Marvel. Okay, so I'm late, y'all. I never watch things when they're popular, but I just watched Black Panther last night. And I was having all the downloads. And that's how it's going to be, y'all. These civilizations are far more advanced than us. They are aware of these civilizations. They trade technology. All the technology we have is from these civilizations. Nothing is founded here.
Come on. That's why most of these old buildings, especially here in Detroit, a lot of them, they're from the 1800s. They say found it because we found this technology. And just a little gem, when y'all get a chance, go look at the Magic Kingdom in Disney and tell me if y'all see Tartaria influence. But a lot of this technology was found, and it's being it's been hidden for so long that it's resurfacing, and a lot of us are realizing what's actually happening. And so they know this, and so that's why they're doing things like blocking out the sun, talking about great resets, um, having all these false flag, like these hurricanes,
Yeah,
tornadoes.
they think that they're in control, but they're not.
No. Mm-mm.
And so then you know they're just waking up the entities. And so you gotta really just keep your frequency and your energy right. I feel like every day
Mm-hmm.
you should be striving to get right with spirit. I think
Mm-hmm.
that it's weird. It's like in Africa. Okay, so like this just came to me. Like,
Mm-hmm.
so you know, in Asia they have superior technology.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that Asia has superior technology because Asia recognizes and honors spirit as part of their daily like ritual. You know, every day they put out an offering. In Bali, you know, they have the paved streets with the offerings. I feel like their relationship with spirit allows for them to receive visions about technologies and receive downloads and informations about technology. Whereas in Africa, I feel that, you know, same type of reverence and the way that spirit blesses them is the power is literally given to them. Whereas in Asia, it's given to a thing. And that's only because they can't harness the power because of the lack of melanin. Whereas in Africa, you just get it. You just could be the Black Panther.
Facts.
Feel me?
Yo, here too, because they don't talk about it, but the origins of this land, we're sold the whole out of Africa theory. Yes, I'm going here for just a little second. We're sold the out of Africa theory, but they don't want us to realize that we're actually indigenous to this land. Like the
Which
earliest.
also Africa is just another. I think that there's two. There was two civilizations, not one. And I feel like there's some Africans, I feel like, just follow me, is one civilization that comes from the stars, one that comes from the waters.
Ooh. Come on, doggone tribe. We are the original people. Yes. I mean, that's one thing that they never talk about. It's like the doggone tribe. They literally said dolphins told us where we came from. They were able to map out different things, you know, and what we call like the sky before we had the technology to do it, you know. We still don't know that we still don't know anything about the water really. You can only
I feel we're all in unity. I definitely don't feel that. No.
nah. No.
That's where people are fucked up. And that's what the reptilians want you to think.
Come on.
Because the reptilians, you know, they have hijacked spirituality. You see what type of the spiritual pages that they have that thrive.
New Age movement.
And they're always talking about the science of it, not the spirit. They do the metaphysics. Okay?
Yeah.
Which is not really faith-based. So
honestly, that's the way that they have to tap into it, because a lot of us, the information does come through, you know, it comes through as us being clairvoyant or clairaudience. It's like, you know, something that's going to happen way before it happens, but the only way that you know how to convey it to doubting minds is by getting these materials from the 3D and saying like, okay, here's my research that I presented, but really this information came through a download, but this is how I have to talk to the collective about it. And other people, like the science people, their only way to tap into that information is through the material. They have these decalcified, or they have these calcified pineal glands, so they can't get the downloads. It's not the same. The foundation, the origin of it is not the same.
We have to recognize that. So stop
Mhm.
looking for receipts for every damn thing.
Facts. Yes. Like,
You're
just
literally
trust.
downloading our information through the channel. That's my biggest issue with Black Twitter. It's like, yeah, y'all know this shit came through the damn channel and the receipts ain't hit yet.
Mm-hmm. Look at the batting average. I mean, that's all you gotta do. Look at the past.
But we got the white man in our head, which has us not believing things that we don't have evidence of. And that's
What's your sources?
Hello?
What's your sources?
What you learned at college.
Come on. Yes, that's straight up college. Come on. And it's like
removing original thought. In college, the whole thing about college is the fact that you have to have evidentiary support. You have to have it can't be just your original thought. You have to have supporting references. That's the whole thing in college. You could have a freaking thesis. You could have a whole damn original thought, which is a thesis, and your thesis has to be supported by shit that already is. How is that expansive? And imagine how many things would have taken hold had we just trusted the thing instead of waiting for the evidentiary support to hit.
555 on the clock. Talk to him. Come on.
So, yeah, no, we're not all the same. We're not all the same. We're not all here for the same purpose. And the reptilians want you to think that it's about this unification so that your ass can stay in this damn realm. When the it's like, use common sense. Nothing about their message, honey, is about unification.
It's all about division.
Hello?
They don't care what you're fighting over. They just want you fighting.
Illness. They got an illness because even these white people, I don't think there's any white conscious folks. Because if there's this white consciousness, if this white consciousness and spiritual community was what it was, we wouldn't be living in the dimension the way that we're living in it. But these white folks pick and choose, and they use their privilege when they want to, and they cling to their privilege when they want to, and they can. And they can click out of the chat when it gets uncomfortable. See what I'm saying?
Yes.
So, in my opinion, the only real authentic white folks in spirituality are the white folks that are here to break down patriarchy, that are here to break down white superiority, that are here to talk to white people. That's what I feel like. White readers and shit, get in your fucking lane. And quit out here thinking that you could talk to melanated people. Get your people together.
Yeah, y'all need to do y'all research on Reiki and figure out where it came from.
Hello.
For real. Hello.
And yoga.
That's a whole topic. And yoga.
And herbalism.
Well, our people are natural herbalists. And
everything else that y'all trying to hijack. And y'all will really be successful if you would give me a fucking building. We need a building. We need a rig and mortar. That's what y'all are here to do. Stop. You want to be successful in this dimension. Help these people transcend. Literally.
Yeah.
You give. I hate to say it, but give what you covet the most, the money. Give what is most precious to you on this round, money. For us, it's love. For you, it's money. Let's work our resources together and really do this thing. But you got to put white people in their place, folks. Stop. Listen. You got to put white people in their place. And what I'm learning is they're happy to be there. You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised how many white folks are happy to be there. The problem is black folks don't know their place. So they're going to run them up until we learn our place.
We're conditioned to believe we came from nothing.
We're conditioned to believe that. But what I'm learning with my rich black life is they're rolling out the red carpet for my black ass. When I shifted my energy, I had to shift my energy though. Because I used to go into these spaces feeling like I didn't belong, that I had to refine myself. I had to cover my tattoos and things. When I started really showing up as my rich black self, baby, they start rolling out the red carpet. And they know who I am. You'd be surprised.
Facts.
It's probably a couple hundred tapped in right now. They're tapped in. Because also a lot of white people too don't want to get stuck here. And they're knowing what time it is. They're seeing what time it is.
And one thing that I do notice too is the places that has
Hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
The places that has these richest, I don't like calling this black, but the places that has the richest melanated history, right? Like Mississippi with the Mississippi Mounds, they try to then like remake those places into like the country or like hillbilly or like sundown towns to keep us away from our roots. But we don't like, if we were to go to those places, then we will realize, holy shit, this is Egypt, or holy shit, this is like their pyramids here. There are people.
They pushed us out of the rural and into the country because we didn't recognize the value of the country life. They pushed us away from our resources. That was a trick. They pushed us away from our resources and our skill set. We're sharecroppers. We're really stewards of the land. We can make anything grow. We can grow anything anywhere. Okay, we can build anything. We know how to test water. We know how to predict weathers. But they pushed us out of these cities, and we allowed them to because we didn't want to be hillbillies. We didn't want to be country folk. We want to be more progressive. We want to move to the big city. We're in the big city. We just got stifled. Our pineal gland got clogged. We lost and forgot all of our skills. Okay. We became depressed and malnourished. Okay. And now white folks are in the damn country. Look who's in the damn country. You got these white folks with compounds out in the middle of Utah, Mississippi, Alabama, Texas, just living on the damn land, while our asses is claustrophobic, just jumbled up, living in hell in these cities.
Atlanta, LA, New York, we got these hubs.
Atlanta, for progress.
Yeah.
That's why you got to get into your astrophotography. Because she told me, girl, it ain't for you in America. I said, what?
Yo, and we think that this is our only option. We have to figure out that there's other places beyond, besides here.
And we keep trying to hold on to this sad-ass narrative.
Yeah.
Long time, the HoodHealer would not let Imani thrive because I was afraid to be a sellout. I was afraid of the top floor because it's like my people aren't here.
So, like, what do you think do you think that there can ever be a space to where we can face these issues like with realness? Because you have this divide that's happening where you have the millennials and Gen Z now that are white, right? And then they're in the mindset like, okay, all of this harm was done by my ancestors, you know, and I'm here now, but I'm not racist. But it's like how, and
They're not
the question that always comes up.
racist, but they don't have heart.
So it's like, should they be advocates? Because sometimes I'm like, the only way is like, are we ever going to face the issue, or is segregation the answer? You know what I'm saying?
Segregation is the only answer, because white people don't recognize their privilege either. And they don't recognize how good we make their life, you know? They're part of the problem. They don't recognize how good we make it. They don't recognize how our presence is what's keeping.
All right, y'all. I'm going to use the bathroom. If Imani comes in here, tell her I'm in the bathroom. I'll be right back. And we've been going for 3 hours, so I got to use the bathroom. Okay. We are back. Oh, thank you, Astro and HoodHealer. Yes, you already know. Time is definitely flying. Yo, we've been here for 3 hours. They about to start the Super Bowl at 6:30, but I already know if you ain't here, you probably not even watching the Super Bowl. She here? Okay, let me find her. There we go. Yo, this is like my favorite live that I've done this year. Straight up. Yo, there we go. Yes.
All right. See how time flies when you're having fun? Yeah, so anyway, the only thing that's keeping America really from being dismantled, because America is in rogue. Okay, which is like, you know, we can't say that, but if we all collectively just said, you know, we're done paying. But America's in rogue. The Constitution is null and void. It's no longer constituting, okay? And really, the only thing that's keeping America being America is our black asses, okay? And that's economically, that's spiritually, that is energetically, and that's physically. Financially, black folks keep this world spinning, okay? Black folks keep America protected. They might not treat us like it, but the world knows that the original people are here. And they don't want that blood on their hands. Okay? Other countries also know that we're still enslaved here. We don't know that we are, but in other countries and civilizations, they still look at us with pity. They still look at us as being enslaved. I know this. That's one of the perks of being the HoodHealer is having people. I converse with people all over the world. And when I talk to Europeans, I'm always, one, shocked that I made it to their algorithm, and two, shocked at their compassion and their sympathy. When in 2020, when we were going through all the BS Black Lives Matters, which was also energy harvesting, okay? You know, the Black Lives Matter energy harvesting was what's keeping us from an attack. You know that energy in the Black Lives Matter is what was keeping the economy flourishing. That's why it turned out to be the pandemic. Because we were living it like we were in our last days. But I'm about to just spend. We were emotionally spending. In the emotional spending, Black folks became multimillionaires. Now, imagine if we had to harness that energy instead of them using us. But anyway, in the pandemic, white folks were so scared, they weren't spending any money.
Imagine if we started our own mutual fund, how much that would benefit us, and we invested in it. Come on. Our spending power, $1 trillion.
But we got to think about that. Think about that. The major component of the pandemic, a complete economic shift, was the fact that white people weren't spending money, but Black people were. Black folks were empowering themselves too rapidly because it was the first time we ever got rest. That was the first time ever. I know you have Virgo placement, so this is just how we are, but this is like that was the first time where Black folks literally were told to sit down and rest. And we rested and became multimillionaires. And they said, oh, fuck no, hell no. These motherfuckers given the job. They're out here with no mask on, traveling. They're the only ones on the plane. They're seeing the world.
We came up when they tried to turn us down.
They're turning up too fast. Black Lives Matter. We got to, hold on. Roll in Black Lives Matter. Bring the morale down. Make them afraid again. Then that's when they got scared because they're like, oh shit, these motherfuckers, this faith is way too high. We didn't put out this crazy ass illness and they don't give a shit. They're still out here on the plane, traveling, turning up, having functions, selling shit, doing shit. Yeah. Okay, we gotta bring in the next order of defense, i.e. the jab.
Let's give it to the Black people first. They said that. Come on.
Now what are we seeing? A shift. Now what happened to the economics? It just slid. How did it slide down when shit's open again?
Come on.
How did it take a dip?
Now you got businesses closing. Now you got money slipping. You got people depending on welfare again. I mean, because when Trump was president, while all this was happening, people was getting coin. People was getting money.
While y'all were getting, while the liberal whites that you stopped working for, while the liberal whites that you stopped working for are panicking, okay, creating this racial separation, calling Trump a racist, et cetera, et cetera. Race is not different from none of these other motherfuckers. Okay, all he is showing us who he is, which I love.
And he's still the president, low key, but that's a whole nother topic.
Yeah, I love. And you know, the thing is with Trump, Trump's not racist. Nah. That's the thing y'all gotta realize.
Y'all look back.
It's a energetic thing. These white folks respond to the energy. You're carrying yourself like a peasant, less than if you want to be out here with a handout, okay, you're going to receive that energy. But while folks were getting disillusioned into thinking, because the media was at play, okay, into thinking that racism was worse than it ever was, they're not realizing the fact that you're making more money than you ever made.
So
think about, it's like y'all were so up in your panties in a damn bunch okay, that you didn't realize, fuck, we just started making money we wasn't making no money in Obama administration. We was going through recessions and shit, going through divorces and shit, losing our families and shit, losing legacies and shit, getting entrapped through the Obama phone.
Don't take the phone. Look what's happening now. Obama 2.0 is in office. Phone.
Hello, now Obama 2.0, which Obama was just here to introduce Biden. You know, they just used Biden. They just used familiar faces because they've been planning this time for years, you know. But Trump disturbed the algorithm. Trump was never supposed to make it to presidency. Okay? And that's the issue with Trump. Is because Trump is not from the lineage, because you know all these presidents are related. Okay, let's get into it. Okay, come on. Okay, they didn't know about that. Yeah, so you thought Obama? No, baby. It's an election. Okay, meaning that they've already been selected. Okay, you don't vote. You just pick out of what's already been chosen for you. Okay, we following that? So. Trump was not a part of that pick. You can look it up. All the presidents are related by blood. Trump is not in that bloodline. That's what
Russian hackers. I mean, come on, man. Hillary was the selection. That's why if y'all got time, go look at the trailer for this game called Homefront, where they had Hillary selected as the president in that trailer, and then they had an invasion of North Korea. Like, all these things were supposed to happen, but Trump was the wrench, right? He kind of messed up their plans.
The wrench actually he was doing more good.
That's why he kept saying shadow government, shadow government. Fake news.
Fake news. Y'all are not getting it. Y'all just think this man is a freaking, like, whatever you think, egotistical, whatever. But he's literally telling you, and that's their problem with him, is that he's literally saying fake news, shadow government, fucking Hillary, you baby killer. He's saying this shit. That's their problem. And he's exposing their ass. We would have never known about an Epstein and a flight list. Now, mind you, because y'all think that he's so soulless. Yeah, he was rubbing shoulders with these motherfuckers. But you don't think he had a part in exposing them too? Remember, it is fake news. And the media here is not about informing us. It's just about disillusioning us. So, if you believe in AI, okay, then you also gotta know that they have Will Smith do the thing and show y'all. Will Smith did the damn he did the whole damn series about it and showed y'all about how nothing is real.
Come on, cloning is real. I mean, we have an artificial intelligence president right now, and I know it sounds far-fetched, like science fiction, but if you guys knew how advanced artificial intelligence is, like today, it's 100 times more advanced than what we actually think it's capable of. So when I say we have an artificial intelligence president, you would you would just blow it off like, okay, conspiracy theory. But look, I mean, it's deeper than that. Like, this is how, one thing that's happening now, and I'm not going to speak too much on this because I don't want to throw people off, but parallel realities, right? This is one way that they know what's going to happen. This is why you had millions of people think about 9/11, dream about 9/11 before 9/11 happened, because it already happened in a parallel universe. And their parallel selves relay that information back to their present selves. So their present selves are now having dreams about it, knowing that it's going to happen because it already happened. And they know how to use the electromagnetic field to peer into the future, so they know future events that are going to happen. That's why we see movies with things that are going to happen in the future, because they already know what's going to happen. They have a whole military section called DARPA. Look into DARPA. DARPA knows about time traveling. They look into our birth charts when we're born. This is how they know who the psychics are, the intuitives are. Like, this is why those people end up being like untouchables, or they might live a charmed life, or it might be the adverse effect that there might be targeted individuals because their power might be so high. And I'll take it one step further, deep in a rabbit hole. Sometimes you have these police killings that happen because they know who that person is going to end up being in the future. But I digress from that.
Yeah, everything is strategy, and again, for harvesting and some type of, it's just the chain reaction.
Fact. Somebody say just like The Simpsons.
You know, they do it kind of for the chain reaction, like Rodney King. The chain reaction of Rodney King still impacts South Central today. There's still businesses, there's still desolate neighborhoods. You worked in Watts, so you know, there's still desolate neighborhoods and things that literally have not been touched since the Watts riots.
Facts.
Now you got to think about why they did that. In the time that they did it, in one of the most progressive places for Black folks. That was the same thing as the Tulsa bombings, really. That is the same thing as the attack on Black Wall Street, really.
It's the reason why Lake Lanier was a whole thriving Black town that's now a lake, y'all. Like, we have buried history, literally, of our greatness, of our.
Look at what. Look at Atlanta.
It's the reason why Atlanta is on the 33rd parallel. It's so, like, the energy in Atlanta is. That's why it's one of the, if not the largest Black Mecca here in the States. Atlanta, Atlantis, like they. Come on, it's the reason.
Why they push that debauchery out there. The debauchery there is at an all-time high. You can go to the club until 4 a.m. there in the Bible-thumping state. That don't make no damn sense. You see what I'm saying? They got all these provisions that do not roll anywhere else in the South but Atlanta to interfere with the energies. And Atlanteans don't even realize that either. It's like that hookah is polluting, y'all. Being in the club 24/7, the sexual, the exploitation of sexuality there, the exploitation of the body there. A lot of root work has to be done in Atlanta. That's why Atlanta, I'd be like, oh God, I don't know if I want to do work there because they work you. They work you hard. Because it's also, you talk about artificial intelligence. In Atlanta, they eat a lot of artificial
They not
intelligence.
ready for this, Amani. Come on. Yo, it's the reason why the CDC is in Atlanta, y'all. Look at the chat. Come on.
Okay, you're eating a lot of artificial intelligence, and so literally, the food is telling your brain what to do.
Atlanta is lower vibration. They want you to think Atlanta is lower vibration. That's what they want you to think.
Atlanta is succumbing to lower vibrations. And what was keeping, now you're seeing a major shift, what was keeping the vibrational frequency high was the high praises of the Lord there. Okay, now let's talk about it. Now, these folks, they're confused about what God they're praising and the religion and everything, but the praise is still pure. Feel me? The praise is still pure. That brings up a vibratory frequency.
Yeah, I mean, we taking it there, not AI in the food, y'all. Look up nanotechnology. It is not. It's not just the food. It's this. It's
Yeah.
the smart dust. It's the food. It's now the weed because Monsanto now developed weed. So you have to realize you have to now know the difference between real loose marijuana and then RPG fake glued marijuana because it's come on, y'all. Hmm.
Talk about that for a second, because
Hmm.
that's big. The rapper weed, the so it's things have shifted. Whereas now, real connoisseurs are smoking
Hmm.
Reggie, homegrown, what would be considered back in the day as bullshit, which is challenging for us because now once it's smoked, it's gone. You know, it's not the same.
Yeah.
You gotta paste it. But not
Mhm.
only is it the weed, but it's the
Come
weed
on.
wraps and it's these
Mhm.
snacks that they associate with smoking. Red dye snacks. So people always ask me, like, how do you smoke? I've been trying to tell y'all, I'm not a mere mortal. I don't know. I've been smoking for the ancestors a lot of times. I feel like it is beyond me. But I do say, you got to take a
Mhm.
break. You have to know yourself for an extended period of time with not smoking. And a lot of us got that crackhead in energy and, just
Mhm.
like want to just rationalize
Mhm.
it. No. Too much of anything is an addiction. If you can't take an
Come
extended break,
on.
that's a problem.
Like you used to say, is the weed smoker you? Come on, is the weed smoker you? Because I mean, there are additives. There are additives that make.
It's
Hmm.
the weed smoking too, yes. And if you don't got
Hmm.
a couple 100,000 in the bank, I don't advise you
Nah.
to just be smoking like that. I don't think that. I feel like you gotta, yeah, like
Hmm.
it's levels. I really do think that. I think that baby, if you're not where you want to be, if you don't have the time, if you're not living a smoke your life, or you could just smoke a blunt, you
Hmm.
don't need to be smoking a blunt. That is, yeah, that is the issue. And I want to be very clear with people
Hmm.
that I'm not glorifying this because I need to stop. I'm about to light my blunt right now.
Yeah.
I do need to chill out, but I would not be maintaining this habit and be
Come on.
complaining about my fucking job. I ain't really maintaining this habit, complaining about the town I live in, complain like
Hmm.
I'm not gonna be maintaining this habit and not happy
Hmm.
about my life, because then that's a different
Hmm.
thing. And I had to really reconcile that because for a long time, I only recognized weed as to be my most
Hmm.
consistent relationship.
Let's tap into that. You know, I was. Hmm.
Well, for a lot of us, the weed is the most consistent relationship for us. That's supposed to be the most consistent
Hmm.
practice we've had. Now, for LA natives, I definitely could say that because smoking is not the same as it is. And I know a lot of people judge, but LA, that's why I feel like, baby, this is ancient motherfucking Egypt, because the way that we politic around the smoke here is really ritualistic. It's literally it is a literal ritual. Like the blunt here is a peace offering. The blunt here really does open up realms, portals,
Yes.
conversations, and connections. In LA, you don't come to a function without bringing some weed.
Yeah.
You don't come to the function without having some roll up.
Yeah.
You don't come
Yes.
without the
Yes.
accoutrements. You see what I'm saying? It says a lot about your personality and your character in California with your
Mm.
relationship with weed. You a sticky motherfucker with the weed, baby? You a stingy motherfucker in life. You smoking big blunts in life, big energy. It's like to me, that's very tribal. You know, I imagine in our tribe settings, you know, the chiefs being the ones with the big blunt. That's like, yeah, I got me an eighth in my blunt.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? But you know, I feel that they weaponize that because I think that California would be real wild if we didn't have weed. The weed is keeping this wild, wild west peaceful.
And it's a whole culture out there. It's respected differently out there.
It's respected differently. It's not like a crackhead thing like how it is everywhere else in the world. And that's because the weed quality is different everywhere else in the world. I mean, so we all are smoking on crack. You know what I'm saying? But in LA, you might really be on some homegrown shit. And it's crossing lines because it's crossing racial lines too, which that is why I feel like they made the weed legalized here. Is because the racial division that has been maintained through gangs was starting to dissolve. And it really had a full dissolvement when Nipsey passed. But that's a whole other story. So because of weed, you know, blacks and Mexicans are getting down and getting along. Now the Filipinos and the Mexicans, the Filipinos and the blacks. So I'm saying all through weed business. Then they put a wrench in the weed business to bring the crime, to bring the division back up. Now we were ones getting money together. Now it's created separation and division. So in LA, the weed is actually creating a lot of chaos. Because it's so overly saturated.
Chemicals.
You know, people are not making money because the corporate is now overly saturated, and we have real addicts now. We've taken away from the joy and the real connection with weed. Folks are trying to just get rapper high. They don't want the Reggie. They don't want the homegrown anymore. So I'm saying, and it's creating a monopoly that is materializing in murders.
GMO. Yes. Having grown up in Atlanta, you know, I moved there when I was 15. It's the weed down there. It's like they don't separate it by like sativa, hybrid, indica. It's like the culture's not respected there. So it's, you got that loud. And the more that it smells loud, they think that it's better. When really you don't know that smell is a chemical. And real weed don't smell like that, you know? And
right. And what happened is bringing the culture. People wanted that. I feel like LA models a lot of culture for the world. And so people wanted to embrace that aspect of the culture and got sick.
And two, I feel like having a healthy relationship with it shouldn't be like this huge, like, let me take a break. If you're living in pure moderation, I think the break aspect won't come in, even though I just came off like a 4-month break. But with doing that break, I realized that, wait a minute, if I just chilled out and realized that I don't even have to smoke until 6 p.m. And then the next day, if I don't even want to, you know what I'm saying? Having a healthy relationship with it. Yeah. So it's like, if you're using it in a healthy way, then you won't have to go like, oh, I need a break. It's just like, oh, I respect the plant. I respect the earth for what it is, you know? And like me, I use it as a reward system. I work hard throughout the day, or let me not say hard because I don't want to subscribe to busy culture, but like I work smart throughout the day.
It is a reward system. It is. But there's other rewards. And as we are ascending, we're learning new luxuries and new rituals and new modalities and new medicines.
Facts.
So I am honoring, like, okay, what's higher than the high? what's higher than the high? I've experienced it before, but it requires a lot of fucking discipline. What's higher than the high is when I'm eating good, when I am exercising, when I'm doing my spiritual rituals, when I'm going to therapy, when I'm getting my facials, when I'm getting dick down. And that's when but to maintain that is a lot. So let me just hit this blunt real quick. So yeah, my conversation is now, it's like, okay, what's the real high look like?
That meditation high.
I don't know if that's achievable here.
Psilocybin is now being looked at. You know what? I'm glad this person said this. They said psilocybin is now being looked at. You know, in the Black community, I feel like psilocybin is like, oh, that's that hippie crazy drug. But you have to realize that psilocybin, like psilocybin mushroom.
What is?
Yeah. Since we are indigenous to this land, we have to realize what came with this land, what our ancestors used to use. So our ancestors, they didn't sit around getting like, I don't want to generalize because I don't know, I wasn't there, but I don't imagine them sitting around getting high all day. It's like having a respect with the mushrooms. They actually praise mushrooms. And so now I think people are realizing that a lot of these are medicine, and the fact that it is being outlawed or illegal doesn't equate being bad, because slavery was once illegal, you know? So I think that once we bring in the respect for it, if you have a relationship with something like psilocybin and you say like, oh, this actually healed a part of me, because I have my own relationship with mushrooms, especially in California, and I realized that I was ready so that the teacher arrived. And it's here. I always tell people, don't go out here seeking to find drugs and stuff. Like, let these experiences happen. Like, sometimes you're not being shown certain things because you're not mentally ready to handle things. But when you are mentally ready to handle things, like weed will show up the way that it's supposed to, or mushrooms might show up the way it's supposed to. But sometimes these things aren't showing up in your life because you haven't mentally worked to that level. Like you can't handle it at that level. So this is why some people are like, oh, I just had a really, really bad trip. It's like, no, you weren't ready to embrace the lessons that were being presented there. And when you come back and have another trip, you're like, it was a completely different trip, right? Because your mindset was different. You graduated to be able to handle the teacher, because these things are teachers. Like ayahuasca. Like I've personally never taken ayahuasca. I've taken DMT, and by taking DMT, I realized ayahuasca is serious. But it's these shamans, out of thousands of species of plants in Brazil, they said the earth spoke to them to go to this one plant, to mix it with the bark of a tree and make ayahuasca. So with that story, y'all should know that like these experiences that we have with like the plants and the mushrooms, like they're serious. They should be taken and respected as so, because like they will come and find you and straighten you out and tell you things about your life, if you respect them in that way. But if you're getting high like 12 hours a day and stuff like that, and you're not taking in the lessons that you're being presented while you're using the plant, then you're not respecting it. You're not respecting the plant. So the plant's not going to really respect you. So it's that reciprocity. You give love to the plant. Exactly.
Clarifying the intention, because I think a lot of people rely specifically on mushrooms to do the work. So if you want the mushrooms to take you to this expanded consciousness or take you to this space of healing without necessarily doing the work, and then I think that's when people get lost in space. That's when people get into that space of like that in between space where it's like, ooh, whatever you took, they took something they didn't come back from. Yeah, you got to be careful with that. I think that's what's happening a lot. Is I think people are interested. They want to achieve this level of enlightenment and ascension without doing the work.
you know, a lot of them are, they try to take the shortcut, by using these plants and not realizing that they're not ready to take on what these plants have to present to them. And so, because when you take
Right.
these plants too, your mind is being like, y'all have to realize that our eyes can only see visible light. So when we take these
Mm-hmm.
plants, our senses are being kind of loosened, our restrictions are being lifted. So that's why when people take mushrooms and stuff, they're like, "Oh, I saw spirits," or "I saw so and so." It's like, yeah, the veil was lifted. So when you take these plants, you're tapping into these other realities, to these other dimensions, you know? And so, like you just said, like some people take them and they don't come back because they opened the door and they weren't ready to see what was on the other side. So when you take these
Mm-hmm.
plants, just know that, remember that we live in a reality to where we're only taught to live in this third density. But there's a whole invisible world happening around us at all times, 24/7. And you have to respect that world by realizing that you're tapping into that world when you use these tools. Hmm.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Vibrations. Yeah. So, yo, this has almost been 4 hours. Yo,
I
I'm
can't believe
saying,
it. This could end
yes,
with my twin
you already
energy
know it.
now. I, I
Mm,
appreciate the combo. I love what
thank
you're
you.
doing.
I appreciate that.
I don't know if enough people are
Mm,
telling you what you're doing. So I feel like you are expanding the consciousness. First of all, it's your energy is very gentle. I think that that shows a lot of strength, I think, when it comes from the masculine. And you give a very gentle, compassionate energy that makes people want to learn from you, which as a Black man, I think is
mm,
very important. And you harness that energy. And I love that you allow all different walks of life
mm,
to share your platform. Not a lot of folks have the courage to even do that, especially on
mm,
these type of topics. So you're giving people
mm,
confidence, you're giving people courage, you're giving people clarity, you're giving people a representation that is
mm.
really lacking. And you're giving people hope because we heard the story of
I'm
zero
listening. Go ahead.
views. We heard that story. We heard the story of zero views and where you transcended from here. So I just want to give you your flowers. I don't always tap in. And I want you to know
Mm,
too, I don't tap in sometimes. Sometimes I tap in from my burner page. And it's not that I'm tapping in, but I don't
mm,
want to distract. I know sometimes I come into the live and I distract. So I'm always watching, I'm always supporting, and I really feel grateful to share this space and time with you. And I feel that nothing is is coincidence. It's very
mm,
aligned to me that we will have this
mm,
conversation on this day, which is just a few weeks
mm,
short of when we
mm.
first met in 22. So I really do, and an Aquarius season. So I really do appreciate this, and I'm excited to see what evolves and what ascends
Thank
collectively and
you. Coming
individually.
from you, that, I mean, my heart is truly warmed, and I can't even express in words how, like, what that means. So all I can say to express my gratitude is thank you. That really, really means a lot. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. It's beautiful to see folks just stay in the course, staying in integrity. I think that that
And I
is
told you before, but
magic.
I tell you again, when I met you in 2020 and I gave you that sandstone and you hugged me like you knew me for 1,000 years. Like I knew then that you were like we were tribe, you know. So I appreciate your energy, matching your words, matching your efforts, matching just your authenticity. Like, it's refreshing to see you're not, this is who you really are, for real.
Yes. And likewise. And likewise. Because in real life, you're very observant. Yeah. So I really appreciate it, and I'm just happy to be here.
Yeah, we most definitely have to do this again. And I will tap into your astrophotography soon. Let's get on that.
Yeah, well, let's do that. Next time we do this,
Okay.
I'm gonna be on the East Coast.
Yeah, thank you guys for being here with us. We really appreciate y'all for the love and the badges and everything. And please do not watch the Super Bowl.
Watch the Super Bowl.
We'll see y'all again soon. We love y'all. Peace.
5D Mystery School.